Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97 on ESPN Radio. Hello, and welcome. Redemption Thursday edition of the program. Great to be with you. Appreciate you being with us. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do, remember this, we got you back. We post all 3 hours upon the conclusion of the show, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email us as well, jcs@979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at @JCameronShow. The WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. Hope this show starting up finds you doing well. Redemption Thursday wagers are posted on Facebook, also tweeted out, but here they are for those of you driving around and you want some picks. Always for charity in this case. A couple of NFL games. I'll take Jacksonville tonight. I don't like it. Don't love it. Needed 10 picks. Always wanted 10 picks. Threw 2 NFL in there. Don't like this week in the league. Did last week. Went 4-1 last week in the league in our mutual pool, Tom, against the spread. But this doesn't feel as comfortable as that did. I saw games well, we all won the Cleveland game. We all were easily able to pick over the Dolphins and, with the Patriots. And all that stuff became very, very easy. But there are no such games this week. Let's put it that way. But I took Jacksonville tonight. Tennessee's offense is floundering. Mariota last week threw for just over 5 yards per attempt. That's pathetic for a grand total of 150 yards. Jacksonville's got a good defense. The lone question you have, A, Thursday night games are sloppy. B, you gotta look at whether or not Jacksonville cares to be there, cares to play football for this coach, cares to play football for each other, cares to play football for that city. I don't know the answer to that. On the surface, it certainly seems like a disjointed group. But allegedly, Jalen and everybody else, a little group meeting there with the coaches and got back on the same page. If that's true and they play hard tonight, they'll win the game. Probably.
I don't know. Derrick Henry tuned them up last year, but
late in the year they'd quit.
They got that in them, don't they?
They have some quit in them.
Telvin Smith doesn't play for him anymore.
Yeah,
He just decided I'm the hell up out of here, and I'm just going to chill for a year to work on my own life. And then Jalen says, I want out. Yeah. I mean, what do you think the locker room, where do they stand on the Jalen Marone argument? Do they stand behind Marone?
No.
That's a problem.
Yeah, no, but Jalen's playing tonight, and so that tells me maybe they fixed it enough to go out there. Listen, this is their season. And what I mean is, normally you wouldn't say that this early in a year, but when you start the way that they did, the road out of this mess, like we saw a year ago with the Houston Texans, who started 0-3 and then went on to win 9 straight, is you start with that win, right? Journey of 1,000 miles.
Oh, yeah. With Gardner Minshew guiding you along the way.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. You take that step, but you got to win tonight. You got to win tonight to have any chance. So there you go. Let's see if they do. Listen, I'll hold my nose.
The loser tonight has a lot to feel bad about. Put it that way.
Yeah. Washington +4 against Chicago. I hate that Bears offense. It's terrible. Trubisky's what he is. I know Washington's not any good, but they've been frisky. They've been real frisky. They played hard last week against Dallas. I actually watched that game. I was up in D.C. They played hard. That was kind of funny, by the way. I was in a D.C. bar watching football on all the televisions there.
They got out to an early lead, did they not?
Yeah. They were playing really well. They were right there. They were in the game, and they were playing hard and kind of felt like, okay, they're going to be in it. And that place was going nuts. It is cool. I will say that is cool to be in an NFL city at an NFL sports bar. Or a sports bar of any kind. If you're in Georgetown or you're in Arlington, Virginia, or you're somewhere like, the people come, they're packed, they got their jerseys, they can't wait, they're unified. Place gets loud. They love a team. Like, I could imagine how cool it would be if you didn't have tickets to Lambeau and you went to a sports bar in Green Bay.
Sure.
It'd be fun.
Like the two. You go to the bowling alley adjacent sports bar or the one on Main Street.
Yeah. Oh, the Main Street one's always been the better one, Tom.
Yeah, that's true.
So, bowling's for after the win.
Right, bowling is just beer and wine,
later
too.
On. That's later on. But it is fun to be in an NFL city when that goes down. I mean, people get crazy. But it was also fun as an observer and really somebody who didn't care about the outcome of that game to sit back and watch the growing frustration when it becomes apparent, we're going to lose. we're going to lose to Dallas. And they all hate Dallas with a passion.
Yeah.
And there's like this 2 guys with their Dallas jerseys on, transplants working in D.C. Like, woo! How about them Cowboys?
They haven't been a Super Bowl contender in some time. I guess the Dez team was with the call in Green Bay.
Yeah.
But geez, man.
Yeah.
Like, even you just saying that now, I'm already sick of it. I'm like, nope. This cannot happen. This cannot happen.
I don't share the hatred of the Cowboys. I have fond memories of the Cowboys in my youth and Roger Dodger and all those guys. And really, Tony Dorsett, I've brought this up before. Tony Dorsett was one of my very favorite players of all time. And Billy White Shoes Johnson, you go on down the list of old guys. When I was a kid, man, those guys were something to watch, and I got Ed Too Tall Jones' autograph when I was a kid in the airport. And I still have it. It's just, that's when you're looking up and see somebody that big. Holy moly, look at this guy. Larger than life. They're like superheroes. Jacksonville, Tennessee, already mentioned it. All right, college football. Here are the games. The slate's interesting. Right off the bat, I took us. Now, you guys had kind of basically said a few weeks back to Director Matthew, listen, Cameron said a while back, you held me to it. You brought receipts to the conversation. You held me to it. I guess last year at some point I said I would always pick the Florida State game.
That's correct, yes.
I don't recall saying that, but apparently, according to you and everybody else, I did. So,
would you like me to read the record to you?
So, I have to pick us every week or pick the game that we're in every week. And I took us this week because I got it at less than a touchdown. So, I'm giving the 6.5 to Louisville. Don't love doing that. I don't like taking Florida State and giving points. You've seen us play. We lost the Boise State game, and I had us. We won the Louisiana Monroe game. I had us, but I lost the bet because obviously, well, you saw the game. And then we pushed, depending on when you got it, the Virginia game.
You might have gotten a W. Might have been an on-the-road cover for Willie Taggart against a ranked team.
At kickoff, I think it was 7, so I don't think he gets credit. I think it's a push.
Does it only count at kickoff?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think
I'm sure some people's bank accounts have counted.
But I don't think you count the Monday line if you're writing that article. I'm thinking you're looking at the kickoff, what it was at game time, so now he'll add a tie. But no outright win.
It's not a loss.
Well, it is. They lost the game, and that was the other stat. When he's an underdog on the road, in his last whatever, he's 0-6-1 or whatever. So it's not good. It's just not good. But I took Florida State and gave the 6.5 against Louisville. Some places this came out at 8, 8.5. No way. I'm giving 2 scores up to anybody Florida State plays. Nobody. Maybe Alabama State. Sorry, late in the year maybe. Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Nope, that's it. That's the only one. Not Miami, not Syracuse, not Wake, not Clemson, not NC State, not Florida.
Maybe they'll be
Boston
so bad
College.
That the Alabama State number is manageable enough that you can jump on the Knowles, get that Christmas budget going.
Let's get the other games out here. Washington giving 6.5 to BYU. I like the Huskies to win the game by more than a touchdown. Thus, I took them. Colorado getting 8.5 against Arizona State. That seems awful weighty. Awful weighty for an Arizona State team that's not very good. That 10-7 game against Michigan State set football back a ways, but Arizona State should not have won the game. I mean, Michigan State missed 3 field goals. Also, if you're a fan of Michigan State, you're about done with your head coach at this point. The whole world plays offense but them. Them in Michigan. It's something about the state of Michigan. They're just like, we're not going to bother.
I think it's fitting that you bring that up on a day that Tennessee and Jacksonville are playing. Field goals. 10, 13, 16 points. We're just used to that.
I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, look around college football. Everybody's in the spread. Everybody can score. The way we talk about good defense anymore is very different. It's that if you give up 21 points and you're scoring 31, 34 a game, you feel good about that day. That's a good damn day for the defense against spreads that play an up-tempo. It's hard to hold a team to the rules are set up in the offense's favor. I mean, you really can't. You don't see too many unless there's a gross mismatch, unless it's a major powerhouse against some little middling team like Old Dominion or something. You're not going to see these scores of 38-3 anymore. You just don't. Why does Michigan State just refuse to play offense? It's unbelievable. Every year, he rearranged the chairs on the deck is what he did from last year with his coaching staff. He demoted one guy, same guy on staff, moved him over here, and they can't score. I'd be pissed.
Sounds like you actually are pissed.
I like Michigan State.
See, there
but
it is.
I do.
This is personally bothering you.
Well, I like football. Score some damn points. What are we doing? Every week they scored 7 points against Arizona State, and they were at home. Imagine filing into that stadium. And Jesus.
You thought this through.
I watched a lot of that game. I was just like, this is mesmerizing.
That hurts. It was on one of the TVs at Hangar 38.
Yeah.
I ignored that TV.
No, I watched a lot of it.
The finish was funny, though.
Yeah. No, it's well, you set yourself up for games like that when you can't score points.
Sparty versus Sparky.
App State +3 against North Carolina. Pulling off the upset right there. Let's go, Appalachian State. Good old Boone, North Carolina will be rocking. Oregon -10.5 against Stanford. I think Stanford's awful. I think Oregon's good. Good night, Irene Stanford.
It's a good pick.
Big win. You're on that one. Utah State versus San Diego State. Not picking a winner. Don't need to. Every Utah State game this year has gone over. So let's jump on that over train, everybody. Let's go. Here we go. Utah State, San Diego State over 53.5. And then I took Auburn getting 4 against Texas A&M. That's got nail biter written all over it. Down to the wire. Remember when Texas A&M choked the game away against Auburn a year ago? They were better than Auburn the entire game.
Oh, that was
a Jimbo special.
That was a noon kick, I think.
Oh, it was terrible. First of all, it was poorly played. Auburn couldn't move the ball to save their life. We get down to the fourth quarter. A&M's had the lead all day, and then they let Auburn go down the field and win the game. That was hilarious. I texted you.
I remember watching the first half and going,
I'm on the wrong side of this one.
yeah, it was. Because it's going to halftime. I'm saying, oh, boy.
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
I've seen this song and dance before. Mm-hmm. There's the dance floor.
Well, when you're losing the line of scrimmage, it's time to flip over to one of the other games.
That should have been a 24-30-point lead at halftime.
That's why I called it a Jimbo Classic.
Absurd.
I was like, what are we doing here? This is crazy. And then finally, Cal getting 2.5 against Ole Miss. I took, did I mention? Yeah, okay. I took Colorado +8.5 against Arizona State. Did I mention that?
Yeah, Arizona State.
Okay.
You mentioned Arizona State, Michigan State?
But I was bitching about Michigan State.
Yeah,
okay. Sorry. Cal getting 2.5 against Ole Miss. I think Cal wins the game. There you go. There are your picks. Those are your Redemption Thursday wagers.
Now get out my face.
Willie Taggart spoke to the media tersely, and you'll hear it when we come back. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
News, interviews, and updates from around the FSU football program. Tallahassee Game Day on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. By OnQ Financial. Mortgages Simplified. And by Hardee's. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Down the sideline. At the pylon. Touchdown.
Tallahassee Game Day on your home for the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio. Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Nicole had a rough week. On Monday, she spilled coffee on her new shirt.
Aw, man.
Tuesday, she stubbed her toe.
Ow.
Wednesday, she got a surprise visit from her in-laws. And Thursday, she got in a little fender bender. But Nicole turned things around with Fantasy 5 Bonus Cash Fridays from the Florida Lottery, offering 50% more payouts for Fantasy 5 every Friday in September. And your week with a win. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it.
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Every day, Sellers makes life a little better for homeowners, helping them find the best design ideas for their homes with the best quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Even mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions are at their fingertips in their remarkable showroom. Maybe it's time for you to get the Sellers Advantage for your home or office. Find them on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For style, quality, and design, get the Sellers Advantage. In Tallahassee, call 656-8453.
Hendrick.
Kickoff for savings at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet. 2019 Chevy Silverado 1500s up to $15,000 off MSRP. Find new roads at DaleJuniorChevy.com. Plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
This is a hamburger. And this, friends, is a Whataburger. A fresh 100% beef patty so big it can only fit on a 5-inch bun. Oh, there's another. Someone's going for a double. Maybe it'll be topped with melted cheese and, oh my goodness, grilled onions and grilled jalapenos. I'm not sure the speakers can handle any more sizzle. Good thing you can do more than just hear the difference. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now is your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles take on Louisville Saturday, September 21st inside Doak Campbell Stadium. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports. Purchase your tickets today to see Florida State football live in person. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
He's to the 20, the 10, the 5, and touchdown! Just as time expires. What a big score!
You too can score big with savings offered by the City of Tallahassee. With a free home energy audit from the city, you are sure to score some major points by identifying household energy needs. We'll come to your home at your convenience, examine your structure, and provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements. You can also take advantage of the city's Energy Star appliance rebates. This can help you receive up to $300 on appliances such as refrigerators, washing machines, and more. And don't forget to ask about budget billing. This free program gives you more predictable bills by averaging the amount you pay each month to help avoid spikes caused by seasonal changes. With so many savings, you're sure to be a winner. Visit talgov.com or call 850-891-4968. That's talgov.com or 850-891-4968 to learn more.
Cornerstone Tool and Fastener and Makita welcome back football season. And to kick it off, we are bringing the best deals of the year. Buy a brushless premium Makita 5-amp hour kit, get an instant $50 gift rebate and your choice of another bare tool free. Plus, we are adding in another 5-amp battery for free. That's 3 batteries and 3 tools. Check out our specials on cordless blowers, chainsaws, compressors, and so much more. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Let's go, Wyoming. Game I may be looking at against Tulsa, Tom. Just saying.
Would you get some late intel?
Well, our friend, who we do get along with well, and I've had good interactions with in the past, Stanford Steve's on a roll lately, and he went 6-0-1 last week.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Holy
so
cow.
I tend to pay attention when the man goes 6-0-1. And I went and double-checked on the year because I like Steve. Nice guy. And I went and checked out his record, and he's rolling on Big River right now. 11-5-1 on the year.
Wow. All right.
So if you'd placed a few units on
yeah.
on Stanford Steve selections at this point, you'd be doing all right.
He probably had UCF.
Well, we all did, didn't we? That was an ATM. I think everybody rode up and went, yes, please. This is going to work. I mean, I don't know anybody who has a bookie who didn't bet that.
It's a weird game this weekend, though, up at Pitt.
I think they're going to stomp them.
They should.
Yeah.
But I do like Pitt's defense. The thing that you got going for you here, UCF's offense is really explosive, obviously, with like 3 quarterback options in case somebody gets banged up on the road or looks out of sorts on the road.
Yeah, man.
And Pitt's coming off of a rivalry loss. And a heartbreaking one where their coach
kicked a
them.
field goal from the 1 and then said a bunch of stupid stuff afterwards. Hey, man, get it together. Can we not do that? And I'm going to play the Willie Taggart comment here in a second. That's not one and the same. But what I would say this is, after the game, you can't tell me that some guy on that staff didn't go over to Narduzzi and say, hey, by every statistical measure known to mankind, you've got to go for that. So you can't come out and then tell everybody, well, I trusted my defense.
Yeah.
Well, what if you went for it down 7 with 5 minutes to play from the 1 and didn't get it. Wouldn't you love your defense then? Because they'd have the ball on the 1. What are you doing?
Matt Schick is now the host of College Game Day Radio, and they do like a more regular presence than they used to. It used to be kind of shoddy.
He interviewed me just a week ago.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they were talking about this particular game, and Brad and Trevor were arguing about analytics, and Trevor says they don't exist, and Brad says, yes, they do, and that was all fun. But Matt Schick, during that time, I guess, was working with research, because he comes back, he says, all right, there's a lot of qualifiers here, but stay with me. A trailing team against a ranked team in the final 5 minutes of a game inside the 2-yard line. This is the first time in 15 years on a 4th down situation that they've kicked in that situation. So you really did see something for the first time in a decade plus. A decision such as that when you're trailing in the 4th quarter.
Are you telling me Trevor Maddich argued to kick the field goal?
Trevor Maddich argued. No, he was talking about that analytics don't exist, and he said something to the effect of they don't win you games. They've never won a game ever.
You got Harold Reynolds out there? I mean, what are we doing?
And Brad's like, well, that's not true.
It's just not true.
Yeah. Because 4th down philosophies across the country haven't shifted drastically in the last 10 years.
Lord, man, come on. Yes, players win games, Trevor. Nobody is trying to argue that a numerical number has gone out and won a game. But we use these things to make decisions that allow players to succeed.
Analytics have never won a game.
The number 6, Trevor, has never won a game. You're right. However, information has helped lead to victories. Dumbass. Here we go. I mean, sorry. That's just ridiculous. I don't know what I would have been able to that would have been tough on the set. So I'm glad your boy brought that up.
It's like, has a map ever helped somebody win a war? A map has never helped anybody win a war.
You mean like if I physically rolled up the map and tried to win the war with it? Is that what you're saying, Trevor?
I think we should approach the Germans from South Africa.
Can we look at the map? A map's never helped anybody win a war.
We'll strike at the heart of Berlin from Beijing. Sir, please use this map.
Get that map out of my face. I'm trying to win a war. So that's ridiculous. But yeah, my man kicked a field goal. He probably lost his team. I mean, I would think you've lost your team at that point. What are you doing, my man?
Well, you're hanging your hat on the fact that you've got a freshman quarterback who's shown some moxie. That's not an ideal situation to be a freshman quarterback at Pitt, but he does okay at handling the pressure. He's very much a freshman, but yeah. Well, I would agree. I'd agree. I'm just saying at 12 and a half, it might be up to 14 and a half.
Well, they have a great defense. They do. Great's strong. They've got a very good defense.
Really good secondary.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But I'm not touching the game. You know, a game we didn't bring up.
If the refs are ticky-tack, then UCF covers and then some.
Yeah. A game we didn't bring up that just in terms of talking about that, I just don't see how Notre Dame, and certainly over the last 10 years, you can look at any of these spots that Notre Dame has been in where they've had to travel against a dominant Power 5 team. They don't play well. They get beat. Usually, not only do they lose, they usually lose resoundingly. And I think they're going to lose resoundingly here. How are they going to move the ball? How's Notre Dame going to move the ball? I don't see it.
Well, if Ian Book played like he did 2 weeks ago,
they'll get blown out.
It's going to be like 42-10 at best.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Notre Dame, you got to win this game on defense, and I just don't think you have enough offense to win the game. And again, Georgia, between the hedges, this game, no.
Also, since you brought up Notre Dame, I'm thinking about Notre Dame Louisville, which I watched today.
Yeah.
Finally, first time since they actually played the game.
That game sucked. That was not a lot of fun to watch.
No.
Louisville hung in there largely because Notre Dame couldn't do anything on offense because of their quarterback.
It was a labor of love. I won't disagree with that. But Satterfield made an interesting choice, and that was it's a 14-point game. They've got 3rd and 12 in Notre Dame territory, beginning of the 4th quarter. He calls a run on that play.
He's clearly going to go for 5 or 6 down, right?
Nope, kicks a field goal. And the field goal is from 40 plus.
What'd that make the score?
11 was the margin in the 4th quarter. Yeah. They were down 14 at the time.
Yeah, cut it to 11.
Yeah. And just, in case we're in a situation.
Yeah, I don't like that call.
And you say, wow, what's this dude doing? There might be some precedent that he plays a little bit scared. Yeah.
Okay. That's curious indeed. We'll see. I like him as a coach, though.
He has them prepared. He does.
Yeah. This is a referendum game, man. This is a big deal. And I think Willie Taggart is feeling a little bit of the pressure coming into this game to win it. They're favored. They want to show surely that they're further along in their rebuild than Louisville is. And that's why when you hear these comments, and you can play them now, this is Coach Taggart answering a question. Aslan asked the question from warchant.com, and it's a little terse in this response.
How would you evaluate James' performance this week? And is Alex?
I thought I told you that on Monday.
Well, you've got some practice between now and then.
James had some throws that he wish he could have had back, and could have helped our football team, and look to see him improve from there. And Alex been doing a good job for us, and we have some plays and things to where we want to be able to get Alex in and let him run some of those plays. And hopefully get a chance to do that.
A few things to unpack here. That's weird because, when you hear typically somebody talking about a package for a player, it's a dynamic player. It's somebody that they want to utilize a specialty, a skill set that they have. So like the wild cam or something like that we've talked about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like if you were to list the entire roster and say, all right, you're going to have a package for this player.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
From like most qualified to least qualified.
Maybe only the punter would be behind Alex Hornibrook, right?
Grothhouse might be an athlete for all I know.
For all we know, right.
He's the kickoff specialist.
Yeah.
I might run a package for him.
Yeah. So,
Dropkick package.
Right. So that was an interesting, I'll just chalk that up to poor phrasing. Maybe he didn't mean package as in we've got these 3 or 4 plays that are kind of involve trickeration and we got a guy that can really make them go. I don't think that's what he meant. So I'll just move that aside. Okay, so we'll put that over here.
And he said we have plays set up for him, not necessarily a package, but that's what that typically means.
Yeah,
yes.
I think he just wants to see. I think they're mad. They're mad when they went back and looked at the film. We all saw it. I saw it live. It pissed me off live, and it makes me mad now because we would have won the game. James misses wide open Terry down the right side. That's one of 3 major misses on the day, 2 of them which he doesn't even make the right read. They're frustrated. They're leaving points on the field, and it cost them a game. That's a big deal to lose that game. So I asked the question. I didn't say they'd do it, but I asked the question last week, which was, do you think at any point, knowing what James Blackman means to that locker room and to his teammates, and the fact that he does provide some things that Alex Hornibrook certainly can't, buying more time in the pocket with his feet and those kinds of things. He's kept plays alive. He's got a bigger arm, that's for sure. And he's beloved by his teammates. So leadership, all that stuff. I asked, do you think at any point that leads to, would they ever consider putting Alex Hornibrook in? If he's routinely missing opportunities to light up the scoreboard, missing throws, missing schemed open plays that you really have to hit here to make other things go later on in the game. And, I wasn't suggesting they should because I don't know the dynamic in the locker room. And, I would have wanted to sit across from Kendall Briles and watch film so he could tell me what, am I wrong about what he missed here or what, how many mistakes did he make in the
Sometimes there's a wide open dude, but he's read 4 on the play.
Yeah, right. So I would want to know what that was. And okay, that's fine. Clearly they're talking about it. I mean, Willie Taggart's answer tells you that they've considered it, that they're looking at a possibility of having to go to the backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's an incredible 30 seconds because the question is about James Blackman's performance in practice this week. Willie says, I told you that on Monday because I think all he heard was assess his performance against Virginia instead of listening to the entirety of the question.
Yeah, he's mad.
And then in his angry response, as he settles down and he responds, he decides to bring up the fact that they've got plays installed for Alex Hornibrook, and hopefully we see that.
Well,
he doesn't say specifically Saturday, but, I mean, what else are you supposed to surmise?
Yeah, but he also prefaces it with James had some throws he wishes he could get back. Well, that tells you, again, they watched those over and over again and went,
yeah,
that's a toughie.
I think he was referring to the Virginia game again because he thought the question was about something it wasn't about.
Yeah, that is somebody who's frustrated. That is somebody who feels the weight of expectations this weekend, somebody who needs a win desperately. Let's just say it. I mean, they're 1-2. And you go 1-3 and lose this game, it is not a good look for many reasons, but Louisville is in a transitional state just like Florida State, only they're 4 games into their transition. So if they come in here to your house where you're favored by a touchdown and beat you and look more buttoned up, I mean, that is a damning referendum on Coach Taggart and his staff if that happens. That's a big if. Florida State should win the game, and they may very well go out there and take care of business. Good. I sure hope so. But I think what's revealed there, obviously, is he's tense right now.
Well, I'll pass a little love around to the beat before getting to the point. War Chant does a really good job of getting the Pro Football Focus stat bombs, like on Sundays or Sunday nights. But I did get this from Brendan Sonnone, and he looked at some Pro Football Focus numbers. And the point of this is that James Blackman's under duress about as much as any Power 5 quarterback.
Sure.
I think it's number 2 in the country.
Yeah, we don't have a good offensive line.
About 50% of the snaps and dropbacks, he's under duress. So half the time he's under fire, and he still is top 20, top 25 in the country, depending upon where you look, in accuracy and yards and basically production when he's under duress. If Alex Hornibrook is going to be under duress 50% of the plays, are we going to see those types of results, better results? Kendall knows what he's doing, man. I don't question the fact that he knows what he's doing overall. So if he sees something about getting the ball out of your hands quicker, then fine. But James isn't terrible against the constant pressure he sees. It's better than it was last year, but it's still almost the worst in Power 5 in terms of the amount of times that our quarterback is under fire. And they've got to make good decisions, and they got to make good decisions quickly. And at least against everybody else, and there are a lot of quarterbacks who face far less pressure, his numbers stack up pretty well.
Well, okay, but I think this is a bit deceiving. James holds the ball too long, invites pressure. You can't pump fake an RPO. He does a lot. It's insane. That leads to pressure. He gets himself out of it because he is mobile, and he is in the middle of the field. He has been much more accurate. Certainly he's not accurate outside the hash marks.
1 for 16 is the number, right?
It's awful.
To the right, I think, specifically.
It's really important that we not be 1 for 16 on those throws.
He wouldn't have expected that in a million years.
I don't know what happened.
Of all the throws he has, you think that's the one.
Yeah, well, they didn't have it this year, and that's really pissing me off, and it's leaving a lot of points on the field. I also think the other thing that invites a lot of these pressures is if you don't win first down and you choose to throw the ball on first down, and you don't read the defense right, don't get the ball out on time, and it sets up 2nd and 10, well, here come the pressure because now we're in 2nd and obvious, 3rd and obvious. And so if he's missing those plays that are set up for him just to take what the defense is giving you, and you win first down. We know how this offense works. If you win it, you go, you can play tempo, you get defenses on their heels. The only way they'd make the change is if Kendall is seeing a lot of that. If he says, look, I get it, you're under pressure, but you're doing this to yourself, man. Mm-hmm. I've got things schemed open for you. We got 5 yards here, 7 yards there. Let's go. And if he's not going to hit it, well, then I might as well put the other guy in there. I'm not saying he's going to. I don't know. Haven't looked at the film with him. But it's interesting just for the head coach to posit that, to throw that out there, to talk about it on his own. Nobody said anything about Alex Hornibrook, and he brought him up. So now we're all going to be watching like, well, okay.
Right. So are we doing drive for drive? What is this? Is James on a very short leash, but he's the starter? These are the final comments of the week, and truthfully speaking, you only had a couple of minutes before we wouldn't have known any of this. But now it has to be a consideration. When we do Tallahassee Game Day, 12:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be watching.
That's going to have to be a topic, man.
Well, I can sense how frustrated he is. And I get it, man. When you're losing, everything is frustrating. When things are going poorly in your life, we see it all the time, in our own lives, right? Things are going poorly. You snap at your spouse, or you say something you otherwise shouldn't say to a coworker, and you realize it later on, I'm just a little frustrated. I have to apologize to Jack tomorrow. That kind of thing. I think that's what you're seeing from Willie right now. Like, he almost instantly knew that he was in the wrong. Because listen to him there. He said, I thought I told you that on Monday. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, James, obviously. And then he kind of calms down. He realizes right then, I'm out of line. And I didn't even listen to the question. There's a part of me, listen, don't get me wrong. You're held to a standard. You got to win games. Things got to get better. There's part of me feels bad for him right now. He's really feeling the weight.
Well, I think ornery head coach could go one of two ways. Maybe that's because he just wants to get this over with and win the game because he knows that they are, or he's seeing stuff in practice and he goes, I don't know that we have a quarterback, and shoot, man.
Well, I don't want to read too much into it. We'll see. Well,
the fly on the wall question I'm going to ask, because I think it's fair to read into this. Is that Willie's wish that Hornibrook gets out there when he says, I hope we see it this weekend, as in, hey, Kendall, run this, get this guy out there? Or is it Kendall suggesting to Willie,
that we need to take a look at this.
What is the genesis of that thought of having plays designed for Horner Brook?
Well, again, I'm going to dismiss that comment. I don't think that this is a thing where they're sitting around designing plays for Alex Hornibrook. It's the playbook. But that part of it, I think, was a mistake. If I had to venture a guess, I would tell you that I think Kendall went to Willie after looking at the film and went, my man. Well, and Willie's on the sideline watching the same game we are.
Yeah.
I mean, he's seeing guys streaking wide open.
Yeah. Well, you could say that last year would be an indicator that maybe it is Kendall because Francois was rolled out there to a painstaking degree.
Yeah. I think it probably is. Chef Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Buccaneers in Tampa on Sunday with rookie Daniel Jones at quarterback. ESPN's Victor Cruz wonders if Eli Manning will end up playing somewhere else next season.
I think he has to answer that question within himself. I want him to play. I want him to go to Jacksonville. I want him to go to Pittsburgh. I want him to go to these Carolina. I want him to go to a team where he can play. I still want to see Eli Manning play, but obviously seeing him in a different jersey and a different uniform will be eerie and weird. But his loyalty to the New York Giants, I think, is what, stands out the most for me, that I don't know if he'll walk up there and say, hey, trade me because I want to play football, because of how much he's beloved, how much he loves that organization.
Victor Cruz on Golic and Wingo. Jets safety Jamal Adams gets fined more than $21,000 for a roughing penalty on Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield, and he's not happy about it. Adams posted on Twitter he signed up to play football, not two-hand touch, and that he'll play his brand of football every time he steps on the field. This just in, Yankees right-hander Domingo Germán is now on administrative leave under baseball's domestic violence policy. MLB is launching an investigation on Germán. In spite of a seventh-place finish at the World Cup, Team USA basketball still holds the FIBA #1 ranking. The U.S. has held that spot since 2010. World champ Spain is ranked second.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Florida State football is upon us, and Garnet and Gold is your football-ready destination. With the latest Nike footwear, team-issued apparel, sideline headwear, and Nike coaches polos all in stock right now. Whether you're on the sidelines, in the stands, or watching the game at home, it's time to get football ready. Step up your wardrobe with a hot new line of FSU apparel in stock right now at all 3 Garnet and Gold locations, West Pensacola Street in Killarn near Fresh Market, or on Governor Square Boulevard. If you're a Seminole, wear your store.
Your next haircut now has a shortcut. Introducing the Sport Clips Haircuts app. That's right, now the cut you want is just a tap away. Just download the app, check in at your neighborhood Sport Clips, and choose your Guy Smart stylist, and you're done. We'll text you when your stylist is almost ready. Then head to Sport Clips for a championship haircut experience. It's home field advantage for your hair. No appointment needed. Just download the Sport Clips app and check in. And don't forget a beard trim. Sport Clips. You choose the cut, we cut the weight.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed technology track, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Chuck Oliver here, and there's no better place to watch football this season than Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar, located at 926 North Monroe Street. On the corner of 3rd Monroe, Cigars of Tally is the perfect place to kick back and enjoy your favorite cigars and ice-cold beer. The Diamond Crown Lounge offers countless options, including J.C. Newman, Arturo Fuente, Padron, Drew Estate, Ashton, and many more. Watch your teams on sparkling 4K TVs and seating areas made for comfort and luxury relaxation. Check out the private conference rooms and the spacious patio for your next watch party and fantasy draft. Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar, 926 North Monroe Street. Get your ash in here.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
The birds are returning. We're safe enough to say that.
Yeah, Tom, you're starting to see it. I think if you were inclined to maybe look for value in the NFC South, now would be the time to pony up on the Bucs. And I'm not telling you they're going to win the division, but I knew at some point this would happen. People are taking a good hard look at that disastrous situation in Carolina. Their season could be over this weekend. They go on the road and lose, it's over. They're playing Arizona now. They could very well win the game. Yeah. But for both those teams, it's basically your season this weekend. We haven't been impressed with Atlanta. The Bucs are a better team than they were a year ago. I think that's true, but they're flawed. And New Orleans, obviously with the Drew Brees injury, we just don't know how well Teddy Bridgewater is going to play, or even if he's the guy, they could do the other guy. What's his
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, yeah. So it's wide open. And I knew sooner or later we'd start to see this, and now there are two separate articles today. And it's that, if the betting odds on who's going to win it, and the Bucs have seen a huge uptick in support here. And I don't think the Bucs are going to win the division.
I don't know, but I do think that of the NFL spreads this weekend, 6.5 for Tampa is light. I think if you're going to have to pick an NFL game, that's a very juicy one to look at. You're at home against a rookie quarterback, for crying out loud. 6.5 points. Beat the damn Giants. Come on. What are we doing?
Atlanta's the best team in the division after the injury to Drew Brees. I just think they've got so many weapons on offense that Matt Ryan doesn't have to be great. He just has to be average and distribute the ball to those weapons. And I said the word ball really oddly there. But
distribute
nonetheless,
the ball.
But distribute the ball to those guys, and you can do enough. Calvin Ridley's really good. Julio Jones is really, really good. So you're all right.
You didn't say ball as oddly as this guy.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
It just never, ever, ever gets old.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
We're just children. I can't stop laughing about it. I play that for my wife sometimes, and she'll chuckle too. She's like, "That is funny." I'm like, "It's ridiculous." It makes me laugh every time.
It's a play-by-play announcer on CBS NFL Sunday.
Emphatically. Yeah. Well, the best is the color analyst chuckling like we don't continue the audio. He has to stop talking. He goes, he just looks away. I mean, all of us, even the most proper amongst us, would have just buckled over. What in the world?
I think the director goes, Sir. Is that necessary? Ian,
get it together, man.
First of all, why is your name not Ian? Second of all, Ian. No,
man. Phrasing. But it does tell me that Ian is the most innocent man on earth. He is just as happy-go-lucky as they come.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
I can't take a right turn. I don't even know where to go with that.
Bucs minus 6.5.
Well, here's what's written today about the Bucs that's kind of interesting. It started when the Buccaneers made every writer at SB Nation and almost every other NFL expert around the picks universe wrong by smothering the Panthers in a Thursday night football game. That same game, Cam Newton aggravated a foot injury, leaving his status for the next game in doubt. Then the Saints lost Drew Brees to a thumb injury that will cost him roughly half the season and cost New Orleans its revenge versus the Rams in a rematch of last year's NFC title game. To cap it all off, the Falcons, left for dead in a lackluster opening week loss to Minnesota, overcame three different Matt Ryan mistakes to hold off the Eagles at home. All that left the division in a weird position. The three teams with former regular season MVPs behind center, Carolina, Atlanta, and New Orleans, all have major questions to answer about their passing offense thanks to either injury or inefficiency. The fourth team, Tampa Bay, is used to inconsistency at quarterback, but might just have the defensive chops to overcome that in 2019. So who is going to escape this murky swamp of uncertainty and crown themselves the king of the NFC South? And they go through and they talk about the percent chances and all the reasons this team will or will not. And it's, and they give you plenty of interesting tidbits. Todd Bowles is lauded later on in the article because obviously the Bucs, who ranked 31st in yards allowed per play last season, a pretty good measure of what a team is or is not on defense, yards per play, we gave it up, didn't we? But the arrival of defensive coordinator Todd Bowles has transformed this team into a top 5 unit currently. Opposing passers Jimmy Garoppolo and Cam Newton thus far averaged a 73 passer rating against the Bucs. That's good, but not Tampa Bay's run defense has been even stingier, but not great. And Tampa Bay's run defense is even stingier. Bowles' group limited the Niners to only 3 yards per carry and then shut down Christian McCaffrey. So 37 yards on 16 carries stuffed him in that situation. And then also, obviously, at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the question becomes, how much better does Jameis get in the offense? How much more comfortable does he get in the offense? And there were plays to be made by his receivers last week that weren't made. He played terrible in the poorly in the first quarter and pretty decent from that point forward.
Yeah. He only made a couple mistakes, one of which was the delay of game that led to the safety. And it's not like his delay of game caused the safety, but if you're snapping at the 1.5-yard line instead of the 3, that ain't good. And then a third down throw to Mike Evans on the 6-minute drive. But if that's what you're picking at, and a freak of a play by Luke Kuechly that's almost picked, the ball could be thrown a little bit farther down the field. But
no, it seems like every time we talk about Luke Kuechly, it's unbelievable.
He's just Jesus running. Winston rolls to his left on one play in this game and fires to hit Chris Godwin in stride, as Jameis does when he breaks the pocket. Kuechly almost gets his hand on that pass.
It makes you mad. You're like, what are you doing there, Kuechly?
It is ridiculous.
You are still running around. Your brain has got to be mush.
But I would think of the phases, right? So you got 4 offenses and 4 defenses in that division. Tampa Bay's defense at this time has to be top 3 in what you trust the most. In that division.
In the division.
And that's nuts. That's nuts. I'm not talking about amongst the defenses, they're top 3. I'm saying in all offenses and all defenses, which group do you trust the most? New Orleans offense, if Drew Brees was healthy, would certainly be at the top of that list. Maybe it's New Orleans defense right now because their front is so nasty and they can get after the passer with great consistency. But Tampa's defense is trending way up in that division. If you've got to put the game on the line, man, they've already stopped 2 teams of doing what they do best. They're 2 for 2.
Yeah,
they were 0 for 16 last year.
That's fair. I think Carolina's in a world of hurt. So I don't know that that's going to resonate long term, where we'll look back and go, how about that dominant defensive performance against Carolina? I have a feeling Carolina's going to struggle against everybody.
But McCaffrey did put up 200 yards all purpose against the Rams, who we think still has a pretty good defense.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair point. Listen, they are certainly trending in the right direction, and it has me very, very excited. I don't know that they'll be that consistent the rest of the year, but they were good, and they were good. Listen, they were good against San Francisco. That game was lost by the offense. I mean, that's...
it's 15 points on the board for San Francisco by way of the offense.
No, and then, if San Francisco goes on to have a great offense this year, and I think there's a chance they'll be very good, given the play caller, then, we'll look back at that as a greater indicator of how far the defense had come. They just got to get more consistent on offense, and I think there's a real passage to that because we haven't seen a good Mike Evans yet. We've got nothing from O.J. Howard so far, but they are establishing a running game. Yep. So those other things should open up, and those guys ought to make plays. We know what Evans is when he's right, but he's been sick.
The good thing about O.J. is he's at least been engaged in the blocking game.
Yeah.
So, that's a good sign because typically if you shut down, right, and you're looking for reasons.
I just can't. We're out here with a man with no catches with that skill set. It is a 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you right now. I know he had 1 target, but that's because he can't get open, and that's weird. Because he's a freakish athlete. That doesn't make any sense. We've seen it from him before. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Come on, pick me!
Yoo-hoo! Pick me! Pick me!
No, pick me!
Take your pick with the Florida Lottery Pick Daily Games. With Pick 2, Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5, you could win top prizes from $50 to $50,000. And you have 2 chances to win every day. The Pick Daily Games from the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Exclusive events and special cigar deals continue at Jerry's Cigar Shop throughout September. All month long, enjoy buy one get one free cigars and specialty marked 5-packs available at both Jerry's Cigar Shop locations. Then on Thursday, September 19th, heads will turn during the incredible Crowned Heads cigar event from 6 to 10 p.m. Experience exclusive event-only deals and limited release blends. Only at the Crowned Heads cigar event, Thursday, September 19th at Jerry's Cigar Shop on Cary Forest Parkway.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Don't start your day off with the same old boring breakfast. Stop by the Bagel Market and Bistro on Thomasville Road and the Persimmon Hills Shopping Plaza. They have fresh baked bagels and cream cheese every Monday for only $1.50. Green smoothies and great salads like the spinach apple salad. Muffins and cinnamon rolls are also options for breakfast. Sandwiches, salads, and more for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week. Check them out online at thebagelmarketandbistro.com or on Facebook and give them a call at 765-0598.
Jeff Cameron here, and mark it down. Wednesdays on my show, we're giving away which Wicked sandwiches. That's right. Tune in to the Jeff Cameron Show every Wednesday for your chance at a free Wicked 5 meats and 3 cheeses of deliciousness. Which is Wicked Wednesdays every week on the JCS.
Cornerstone Tool and Fastener and Makita welcome back football season. And to kick it off, we are bringing the best deals of the year. Buy a brushless premium Makita 5 amp hour kit, get an instant $50 gift rebate, and your choice of another bare tool free. Plus, we are adding in another 5 amp battery for free. That's 3 batteries and 3 tools. Check out our specials on cordless blowers, chainsaws, compressors, and so much more. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey will play tonight against the Titans, but ESPN's Josina Anderson reports Ramsey expects to be traded in the next few days. He has asked to be traded, and a number of teams are very interested, including the Chiefs, Ravens, Vikings, Raiders, Eagles, and Seahawks. That Jaguars-Titans game tonight kicks off Week 3. The 0-2 Giants will play the Buccaneers in Tampa on Sunday with rookie Daniel Jones at quarterback. ESPN's Victor Cruz wonders if Eli Manning will end up playing somewhere else next season.
I think he has to answer that question within himself. I want him to play. I want him to go to Jacksonville. I want him to go to Pittsburgh. I want him to go to these Carolina. I want him to go to a team where he can play. I still want to see Eli Manning play, but obviously seeing him in a different jersey and a different uniform will be eerie and weird. But his loyalty to the New York Giants, I think, is what stands out the most for me, that I don't know if he'll walk up there and say, hey, trade me because I want to play football, because of how much he's beloved, how much he loves that organization.
Victor Cruz on Golic and Wingo. Jets safety Jamal Adams gets fined more than $21,000 for a roughing penalty on Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield, and he's not happy about it. Adams posted on Twitter he signed up to play football, not two-hand touch, and that he'll play his brand of football every time he steps on the field. This just in, Yankees right-hander Domingo Germán is now on administrative leave under baseball's domestic violence policy. MLB is launching an investigation on Germán. In spite of a 7th-place finish at the World Cup, Team USA basketball still holds the FIBA #1 ranking. The U.S. has held that spot since 2010. World champ Spain is ranked 2nd.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
Hour number 2 of the Jeff Cameron Show. Happy Redemption Thursday. Good to have you along. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Watch the show being performed, if you will, on YouTube and Periscope. And you can always catch up if you miss anything that we talk about today on the program by going back to the archived audio after the show. We'll post it. You can find it on iTunes as well. Redemption Thursday wagers as follows. Washington +4 against the Bears. Jacksonville for tonight's game getting a 1.5 against Tennessee. Wobbly-legged about that one. Washington giving 6.5 to BYU. Colorado +8.5 against Arizona State. App State taking 3 against North Carolina. I like them. Oregon's the game I think Tom and I most feel best about, I should say. -10.5 against Stanford. Man, that tells you Stanford's fallen.
Yeah.
Hard times.
Well, they've fallen on hard times, and they've got a brutal schedule. That's a hell of a 1-2 combo.
And injury-riddled on the offensive line. Utah State, San Diego State over 53.5. I took the Noles and gave the 6.5. Auburn +4 against Texas A&M, what I think will be a close football game, fun football game, physical football game. And Cal getting +2.5 against Ole Miss. I like Cal to win the game. So there you go. Those are the wagers for the week. Need to bounce back, I think. I didn't look at my record last week, but I don't think it was good. So I will, at least not on Redemption Thursday. Right now, we've all been riding that UCF train. Every week, just plastering people.
Yeah, I've been UCF's been good to me. Ohio State has been good so far as well. They draw Miami of Ohio this weekend. So if they care to be there, they will cover. That is the question. College football does that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it does. You always got to look at look-aheads and all that other stuff, so it can be difficult. At this point, I would just say that you're starting to figure out a little bit, if you're a sporting guy or gal, who's what. And, some of the units you can trust, segments on teams, and then other aspects, whether or not they can play defense, affect the over-under, all that.
Ohio State was in my rotation last week in the noon slate because I was interested in the game, of course. And Justin Fields makes some throws that just put your jaw on the floor, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
But he has not been the best version of himself yet. He still misses quite a few open throws that aren't all that difficult. So that they're doing this and he hasn't reached his height yet is interesting and intriguing.
Scary is what it is.
Yeah,
right?
It could be.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. And which everybody knew when he was being recruited, and we desperately wanted him, and we thought there was an outside chance we could get him. But, of course, we were a dumpster fire of a program at the time, and so nobody was willing to come here. It's going to be interesting as we sit here and talk about the quarterback situation on the heels of Willie Taggart's comments today, and then also just watching the Virginia game and seeing some plays left out on the field. I really do wonder if at the end of the year we're of the mindset that Jeff Sims can come in here and just take the job. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but I wonder if that's where our heads will be at the end of the year. It means it'll be a very frustrating year.
Man, your head's been there since he committed to us.
Well, I like him. I think from a skill set standpoint, body type, all of that, his passion for Florida State, like as we begin to lose football games, if that happens, if we start losing more football games, and knock on wood it doesn't. You got a winnable game this Saturday. You should win this Saturday. Nobody goes into the games these days feeling a whole lot of gusto with saying something like that, but you should win the game Saturday. And I'm holding out hope that the season ends with us going to a bowl, and you would be able to salvage a lot of that recruiting class. But if you don't, and you have another year in which you aren't bowl eligible and losses mount, I think it's reasonable to expect that even though we've asked a lot of these kids in their recruitment not to commit to us until they were 100% certain and all of these things, the approach that has changed and all that, you're going to lose guys. They're going to go elsewhere. They're going to see what's going on, and they're going to go, yeah, 2 years and you still don't have anything moving in the right direction. Maybe I changed my mind. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the one guy I don't think will change his mind appears to be Sims. He said as much around every turn, and that makes him really, really likable. He's committed, like as in the definition of the word. He's committed to Florida State. I like that. We haven't had leadership at the position in a while, coupled with ability. Now, listen, James is a leader, and he's a passionate kid, and I like him. But a lot of your great leaders have not only the ability to vocalize and inspire and all those things, but really play. Play at an elite level. Guys like to follow guys into these games that they can trust will make winning plays, good decisions, help you win football games. So, James's leadership could be somewhat limited if we are losing a bunch of football games. I mean, listen, the first glimpse of real frustration from one of his guys, going back to the beginning, right? Because we watched these two and wondered why they didn't play more and all that other stuff. Tamorian Terry was furious. I mean, you could see it. I was watching his reaction on the field. It's the very definition of showing up your quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not chastising. I'm just saying. He was enraged, as he should have been. Like, I make this move, I'm wide the hell open, this is going to tie the game, and you can't hit this throw?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that he was going to be limited, though, unfortunately. Like, this has always been the conundrum with him, and this is what it has played out. What we assumed differently than what we're seeing is obviously that the defense would be playing better, and if it played to, I think, even moderate expectations, like if you say, well, as long as they're not this bad preseason, and you put a number on that, whatever it is of yards per play or whatever, we would be at least 2-1, if not 3-0 at this point. And so you would be able to mask some of those issues.
Sure.
But what do these losses do? What do these second halves or fourth quarters do? All we talk about are these flaws. And we're a flawed football team. Guess what? We're going to be a flawed one in our final game of the season against Florida. But are we a team that's moving in the right direction?
This weekend will go a long way in helping decide that, because we saw improvement on Saturday in a loss. We did.
Yeah,
we did.
And my whole thing the entire year, this is my broken record since the regular season started, we lost to Boise, is I think they're building towards something. It's just they still have to have morale left in the tank for it to work and cash in, for them to be able to cash in and win some football games that we feel good about. Like, not the kinds that you're automatically going to win, although week 2 wasn't automatic. Alabama State is automatic. But you want to feel like you've accomplished some things along the way, and they still need to be in it to win it if we're going to be able to do that as these improvements are made week to week.
Yeah, I asked Coach Taggart the last time I interviewed him, which was after the Louisiana-Monroe game, whether or not he still thought he had his finger on the pulse of this team, that he still had the team collectively. And he answered, emphatically, yes, I still have my handle on this team, yes. And I think that's true. I think the game Saturday night against Virginia proved that. He does, because you're right. That's the number one thing you can say right now, is that they haven't quit, and if they don't quit, they'll get better. They'll continue to get better.
Would last year's team have? After the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, because they didn't believe in each other. They had more of these guys in the locker room that you would have considered a cancer, and yeah, they probably would have. I mean, they were never really together. That's part of the problem with last year's team, was that, not only did they not handle adversity very well, but they, you had some of the younger guys that were bought in, that believed in the future moving forward, and a whole bunch of veteran guys that got the bulk of the playing time that didn't buy it, and just said to Coach Taggart whatever he wanted to hear. And so we found out afterwards that not only were they fragile, they were divided. And the effort this year has been about bringing them together, and I think it's really important every week to see a team that is laying it on the line. it's interesting. I don't know if it's the parent in me, if it's just getting older. I certainly can still criticize this team, an individual player, a coach, you name it, in the same way I did in my 20s. But in my late 40s, I find myself with pangs of sadness when they lose games like that because I feel for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those guys are laying it on the line. And listen, again, I bring this up all the time, and I've said it for years. I don't like it when I hear analysts say, well, they didn't quit in a game, in an individual game. Like, well, yeah, man, that's the very basic thing you could do is to compete. I mean, if you're a competitor, that's what you do. I don't care if it's ping pong. I mean, whatever it is, you're not quitting. I mean, if you're a competitor, you don't quit. But we've seen kids quit. We've seen teams quit. I know it's a reality. It's
that talking point's different now that we're living through it.
Yeah.
And everybody, well, not everybody, but many people before last week's game figured that we were going to quit because of past behavior.
Well, right. And there are a few guys that would, that exhibit sort of a weird sort of reaction to not only adversity, but like if a play goes wrong for whatever reason, you can just tell body language wise they're on the cusp of doing something stupid or saying something stupid or acting in a way that doesn't see them locked in. And yeah, they're not that way right now. So if they don't quit, there'll be maybe a smaller but a hardcore segment of this fan base that will be locked in with them and really root for them and they're going to root for them every week regardless. It's our school. But the truth is, I mean, I've mentioned in the past they weren't a real likable team. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Certain guys that continue to get playing time despite playing poorly and saying and doing dumb things. But the young guys, and that's what we're invested in, right? Now, there are some veterans. Cam has played passionately. He's played as hard as he can. He's carried us. So I don't want to just say just the young guys. Marvin Wilson's played with great passion and vigor, and he's played well. So you got a few veteran players that you can trust and that you like and that play hard every week. But for the most part, where we're going, it's got to be the young guys, and those guys are all still really bought in, playing really hard. So that's important. That's huge. And if they can get a win this Saturday, all of a sudden, listen, that's the great salve. If all of a sudden you're 2-2, 1-1 in the ACC, all right. They're not drawing pictures of these wins. We'll just, okay. Reset, exhale, let's go. Beat NC State. Get ahead of the chains a little bit. Give yourself a chance going to the bye week to feel decent.
Yeah, the goal right now the hope is, probably not the goal, that Levitt improves the linebackers to the degree that Clemens has improved the offensive line, and that maybe we can scheme. I think that's probably why the position changes have happened already, or they were at least experimented with this week in practice. If Levitt can get you somewhere better than pits of the earth, pits of the world, like we've been at that level, a lot of things are going to improve automatically.
Yes.
But can he do it? And I think that's the weird part.
We don't know, yeah. How much can he?
Most teams, most programs that have analysts, you're looking for them to give you the extra 5% that you need, the extra 2% you need to make the difference. With Levitt, I feel like he's trying to bring us the basic 60% that we don't have in terms of preparation.
And
at least that's the way it's being presented.
Yeah, and how much can he do if we're following the rules? How quickly can you get guys up to speed as to how you want them to play? How much of this does Harlan embrace and utilize? All of that's on the table. We won't know. We're not in those meetings. I have no idea.
You're asking him to coach the coaches. Is what you're asking him to do.
Yes, but in turn, coach the players, because now, if they're going to take what he says as gospel, they're going to revamp a lot of what they do. You'll see a guy who, obviously, we know has been great. He's been a great defensive coach. He was at USF. He was with the San Francisco 49ers. He did a good job with Oregon's defense in 1 year. He's been really good. There's no arguing that. But he's not in his traditional role. He's an analyst. So how much can he get out of these guys from that role, from a distance? Like I said, I would just bastardize that rule, and he'd be all in.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I've read a lot of different articles about what he's allowed to do, but he can instruct in a film session, can he not? I believe so. He can't instruct on the practice field or in a game. He can't talk to the players, interact with them, and correct mistakes. But I believe in a film session, he's allowed to step up and say some things.
Well, even if he's not. I'm just like, who's monitoring this? I mean, what, NCAA's coming in during a film study going, no, nobody. Who are we kidding?
with our luck, there'll be a video on social media of him giving an impassioned speech on the field during practice.
By the way, did you know this stat? Just a little baseball nugget as we wind the season down. The Astros became the first team to win 100 games this year. They're the sixth team to win at least 100 games. I didn't realize this. In 3 consecutive seasons? I knew the Astros had been fruitful, but good God, man.
If they win the World Series, they would be the second team to be able to, or second or third, I think. It's odd. Baseball is cruel. I believe the majority of those previous teams did not have a World Series winner within.
The Philadelphia A's from 1929 through 1931, the Cardinals from 42 to 44, the Orioles 69 to 71. Of course, we remember the Orioles falling to the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets. Boy, just a devastating run for
the Miracle Mets.
That's correct, yes.
Unfortunate.
The Braves, 97 through 99, and the Yankees, 2002 to 2004. And now here we are with the Astros. Each of the previous 2 seasons produced 3 100-win teams, and one of those teams went on to win the World Series in each season, including the Astros in 2017. The Yankees and Dodgers could reach the century mark by the week's end. We know that as well.
I was going to say, we knew the Braves 97 and 99 did not win the World Series. Knew that for a fact.
Also, to note, Garrett Cole reached 300 strikeouts on the season in just 198 innings. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, that's the second fewest innings pitched in a season at the time that a player reached 300 strikeouts, because, of course. You know who the only other guy did it quicker? In the history of baseball.
In the history of baseball, Pedro.
No. Give you one more.
Koufax.
No. Randy Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, in 2001, Randy was having none of it.
Well, that was Randy Johnson and crazy-ass Kurt Schilling.
Yeah, they were doing some things. Garrett finished with 10 strikeouts, tying the 4th longest streak of consecutive starts with at least 10 strikeouts in Major League Baseball history. This is interesting. The most consecutive starts with 10 strikeouts is owned by Chris Sale. He's not fooling around. Did it in 2015. Did it again in 2017. And, of course, your boy Pedro Martinez did it in 99-2000. 10 straight consecutive starts with 10 strikeouts or more in 99-2000. He was something.
You know, it's interesting. I remember the debate happening when starting pitchers weren't even going into the 8th. And then, of course, it's been now the 7th is a magic inning. And now in some cases in the American League, it feels like if you get through 6, you've done a good enough job. That a lot of these marks, like the win total mark, 300 wins, is not going to be in play anymore, or the strikeout marks, 300 in a season. And now the way that hitters approach the game, 300 strikeouts is back in play. And now Garrett Cole is going far and above what most others are doing in the sport. But the approach, I think, is dictating that strikeout numbers for even starting pitchers that go an average of 5 to 6 innings, they can still be back in the leagues with the dudes in the 90s when strikeouts weren't as sexy.
Yeah, because guys will roll out there and strike out 5 freaking times in a game.
They don't care.
There was a time where you would almost not show your face for a week if that happened. That's crazy. Well, Pete Alonso, your boy, has 49 home runs, Major League Baseball leading 49 home runs.
That's correct.
Tying Mark McGwire for the second most by a rookie in Major League Baseball history. We know Aaron Judge is the all-time record, and he's only 3 back from tying him. So they got that to hang on to.
Well, yes, and he is in Cincinnati this weekend. They play the Fish for 4 next week, and back to Atlanta to close the season. The Braves might not care, and Pete has baptized 2 baseballs in deep center field in Atlanta already this season.
The Mets have never had the Major League Baseball home run leader.
Well, I mean, he's setting the record with 41 was our record, I think.
It's weird to me because the 86 Mets were loaded, and obviously Darryl Strawberry was something to behold.
We had Kingman in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching Dave Kingman.
Piazza hit 41. Beltran hit 41.
I'm old as hell. I remember watching Dave Kingman.
You watched Dave Kingman?
Oh, yeah. I saw Dave Kingman with the Cubs and the Mets and everything.
3 outcomes would have loved this guy, right?
Dave Kingman hit the ball as far as you could hit a baseball for a very, very long time. He either did that or struck out. That's what Dave Kingman did, yeah. That's the famous Tommy Lasorda speech. What I think of...
Assess his performance? Yeah.
Well, it's a tough question to ask me, don't you think?
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Crown Lounge offers countless options, including J.C. Newman, Arturo Fuente, Padron, Drew Estate, Ashton, and many more. Watch your teams on sparkling 4K TVs and seating areas made for comfort and luxury relaxation. Check out the private conference rooms and the spacious patio for your next watch party and fantasy draft. Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar, 926 North Monroe Street. Get your ash in here.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the Kraft Brothers dealership, and Nissan Truck Month is here. Sit in the cab of a Nissan and feel what you're missing, and we'll stand up to F-150 or Ram any day. Get 0% interest for 72 months on all Titans, plus Titan Midnight Edition package is free and up to $12,000 off MSRP. Yes, $12,000 off Titan, and the Nissan Frontier is $5,000 off. But hurry, these prices are only good during Truck Month, so come test drive one now. Or if you're looking for a high-end vehicle with low-end payments, visit our Infinity of Tallahassee store. The Kraft Brothers have special lease deals with Infinity. So listen to this. With just $39.95 down, QX50 for $385 a month, or QX60 for just $415 a month. Truck and SUV payments and savings you've come to expect from the Kraft Brothers dealerships. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or Infinity of Tallahassee on Capitol Circle Northeast next to Ted's Montana Grill. Payments plus tax for 39 months with approved credit through IFS or NMAC.
Kraft Brothers dealerships.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The new $5 million luck scratch-off is here. To find one, there's a special call. It goes like this. Luck, 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 luck. Luck, 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 luck. If you do it long enough and loud enough, someone is bound to get you one in order to make it stop.
The new $5 million luck scratch-off with more than $329 million in cash prizes. Find yours today. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it.
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops this year with the new 2019 fall arrivals. Introducing the strikingly new T-Series irons from Titleist, featuring the T100 iron designed as a player's iron, the T200 iron, a player's distance iron, and the T300 iron, the complete game improvement iron. All pure Titleist. Let us help you find the right set and get custom fit today. Just a few of the new releases you'll find at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home with a 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature Which, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
Hendrick.
Are you ready for kickoff? At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, it's the kickoff to savings and the best time to buy. Rock your next tailgate with a 2019 GMC Sierra 1500 truck, up to $13,000 off MSRP. That's right, up to $13,000 off. We are professional grade. Come see us on Capitol Circle Northeast under the giant American flag, or shop DaleJr.GMC.com. Not all vehicles will qualify for maximum discount. Must finance with GM Financial plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Redemption Thursday edition. Hey, I didn't put it in there. I should have, but I don't have an opinion on the game in terms of the number. Keep wrestling with this Michigan-Wisconsin game. Like, quietly, that's a really big deal because obviously Harbaugh at some point has to win some of these games. And also, Wisconsin isn't, this isn't Ohio State. This isn't a juggernaut team or anything like that. But we're waiting to see, are they legitimately pretty good? And so you get this game tonight, Saturday, and if he loses it, this is just another, because you just saw him against Army, and they were terrible. Probably should have lost that game. And they've done everything in their power to change the offense. And if they don't score in this game, then, what do you do? Would you bench Shea Patterson? What do you do? At what point is this just what Jim Harbaugh is, right? Even though you've changed coordinators, changed systems, they don't move the ball.
Yeah, this is a game that I couldn't – if you put a weapon and point it towards me.
You're not going to watch it?
No, and I had to pick it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I'd have to flip a coin. I couldn't make my mind up because you've got two programs here that lose these games, but they're facing each other, and they're facing each other with a lot on the line. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's why I didn't include it. I got an email. Somebody said, you didn't put in the Michigan-Wisconsin game. You were talking about it earlier this week. Yeah, I was talking about it because it's big for Harbaugh. I wasn't talking about it as I'm interested.
I lean Michigan, but then I say to myself, well, they always lose these games. And then I lean Wisconsin. I say, well, they're not going to win this game because it's important. So I don't know.
I think I'm taking – well, it's their tent of suspicion games. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah, you could get a fifth night free with 4 nights stay in the tent of suspicion with this win.
It's funny. The tent of suspicion bit that I've done for years, going back an awful long way, rings less true to me anymore because we're in the tent and we're now out of the tent in a sorrier neighborhood down the street. And so it's hard because I always enjoyed in previous years, this speaks to Florida State's dominance. So this is a big topic thing. Our fans right now, and I get it, are so sensitive. Any little thing that is spoken by a national pundit, or in this case, a local pundit, me, or anybody else that writes something, there's a contingent of our fan base that's just irate. They're beside themselves, and they got rabbit ears. They hear everything, and they're really, 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 really tired of being the butt of a joke. Well, losing does that. That's what happens. But I had a guy tweet at me and say, boy, ESPN sure does love talking smack about Florida State. My response to him this week was, and it's a compliment to our beloved Knowles, that's what happens when you've been in the national discussion as one of the elite football programs for the better part of 40 years. And then you're suddenly bad the way so many other programs have been bad before, but you haven't. Florida had the 2 4-win seasons not that long ago. We sat there and mocked them. Miami went way down. Nebraska, way down. I brought up the fact that, when Blake was there at Oklahoma, they went 3-9. They went 3-9. Notre Dame's had some seasons where you're like, look, sorry ass Notre Dame. They better join a conference. They can't. We've done this. Southern Cal. We've done this with everybody. Even in the lost decade, Florida State was going to bowls. Florida State was finishing with winning records. So we hadn't jumped off the cliff to that realm of bad that I just described all those other programs having gone through. And now we did it. A year ago, we took the plunge. It was our turn, didn't make a bowl, didn't beat anybody who was any good at all, went 5-7. Here we sit at 1-2. Our one win is against Louisiana Monroe, and they missed an extra point. Come on. That's you didn't really even win that game. You did, but you didn't. So you're going to be the topic. We matter so much more in the world of college football than UCLA could ever dream of being. Nobody cares that Chip Kelly hasn't won a game out there this year and they look terrible and they're 18-point underdogs again this week and they're going to get boat raced again, maybe lose 10 games this year. No, who cares? It's UCLA. They don't care. They care about Florida State. It's a big deal when Florida State's bad because we're never truly bad. And so you got to get used to that. You can't be so sensitive. You can be mad about it. You can be mad about the fact that we're bad, but you cannot be surprised when people who get paid to talk about and analyze college football put together the big picture story of the game every weekend on game day or wherever else you're listening and mention that Florida State is horrible. And then they list the many reasons and hows and whys of that. And it's frustrating to hear it. You feel like you're being mocked. I can tell. A lot of the emails and tweets that come my way these days are this feeling, stem from a feeling of being as if they're being piled on, right? That Florida State, that the pundits are piling on. That, oh, we get it, we're bad. But good Lord, do you have to talk about it every 5 seconds? It's not that they're talking about it every 5 seconds. You hear it every time they do. And I mentioned the Bader-Meinhof, phenomenon, which, you want a red car, you see them everywhere. That's what happens here. I mean, when you love Florida State and you want to win desperately and you hate losing, anytime somebody's talking about Florida State losing, you hear it, I mean, from all corners. And the news is shared on social media because one FSU fan reads something he doesn't like or hears something he doesn't like and then posts it, and then it gets shared. And the next thing you know, you can't ignore the fact that another outlet was taking a shot.
Yeah, but this is the same type of fan who would pile on to a rival being crappy every minute of every day and beat that into the ground. Which, listen, I understand.
Which is part of the fun.
Yes, it is part of the fun.
It's just we're on the wrong end of it right now. As I've said before, apparently it's our turn.
Well, and apparently you don't have the self-control to not consume all things sports when your team is terrible. Because,
right.
I don't know about other people, but I'm less likely to watch College Game Day when we're not good. I don't know. Is anybody else like me?
I'll watch it, but the second they go down the road of showing the highlights of us getting beat again, I flip the channel.
Well, that's when you go do
outside.
the dishes.
Right. I wait until they move on from us. Because by definition, when you've lost 6 of your last 8 games or whatever it is, there's not going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to like to talk about regarding the games.
And it's the elephant in the room conversation that we have even when we were winning 29 in a row. The national media doesn't know nearly as much about Florida State as you do. Unless you get an expert breaking down film and looking at tendencies that we don't get, we're not privy to. When it's just the guys on the desk doing the grand discussion about the programs.
We learned this years ago.
They don't hyper-focus on Florida State.
They can't.
So most of the things they talk about are generic talking points we discussed back in July.
But you have to look at it, and this is for your own sanity out there. You have to look at it as, for lack of a better term, let me just use this analogy, it's a soap opera, right? And the plots change and characters, but there are central characters, and you know who they are. And in the world of college football, we're a major character, right? So seasons come, seasons go, and when the people talk about the show that is college football, they're talking about the affair so-and-so's having. They're talking about the job promotion Susan got. They're talking about all of the elements of the show, right, wherever the characters are going. For us, right now, we're on Skid Row. Look at what's happened to Roger. Lost his job, his wife ran out on him, and now he's at the bar every night, can't seem to get on his feet. That guy's smart. He has been a CEO. He's been successful for the better part of 40 years. I never thought I'd see Roger out there in the alley. We're Roger. We're out there in the alley, and they're going to talk about it that way. It's going to be salacious, and it's going to really frustrate you. But it changes. It turns around because in most of those shows, the plot twist turns to Roger getting his whatever together, figuring it out, cleaning up, and reappearing one day.
Right.
You just hope it's not 5 years from now. Now the thing is, you got to mitigate this. You got to shorten this. The lifespan of this role ought to be short. We need to make this just a little one-off for the season.
Yeah, but the problem is right now, the way social media has affected the conversation, we're like in Amsterdam in The Wire, where we're just allowed to all do what we're going to do. You're going to plunge? Plunge as deep as you want because here's Twitter. Plunge as deep as you want because here are little video clips that you can get on Facebook or wherever the hell you want to get to be mad. And then make yourself mad the next morning by watching the same thing again.
Yeah.
Just get off the stuff, man. Go find some help.
Correct.
Maybe you got a problem.
Correct. Go live the life. Don't live in the computer. Use the computer. All of that. Yes, I got it. I mean, and that's, I just see it. And our fans are so frustrated. And I want to go, guys, look, man, every major program that influences and has dominated for stretches at a time in college football have gone through this. Now, here's what I don't want people because I see this a lot too, and you get no crime. It's okay to be mad. It's okay. I mean, that's how this show began, unfortunately. I mean, it started out winning a national championship. I'm on the air in 98, 99. We go through and dominate, and then we watch, and I'm sounding the alarm bell, and then that was controversial, and I wasn't doing it to be controversial, but it was just sort of, I was mapping out this problem, an aging coach, a legend. We were not operating at peak efficiency. I'm getting nervous about it. I'm talking about it on a daily basis. Everybody's got an opinion. We're all getting after it, right? Okay. What I always resented was when people would get mad that you were critical of your school. That's the people that should be most critical. I bring this up all the time in regards to patriotism. That's the people who love their country are the ones who are going to be most critical of it when it missteps, and they ought to be. They're invested. They want to be better. We can do better. It's okay to say that this is unacceptable, that Florida State going 5-7 last year is not good, and you want to see real progress real soon. And if you don't sense that that's happening, it's okay to point out, same dumb mistakes we made all of last year. By the way, this doesn't seem to be any better either. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with people pointing that out. It's okay. Now, within reason. Obviously, there's a way to criticize something without crossing that line.
Sure.
But there's nothing wrong with being critical of it. It does. And also, by the way, that criticism does not lead to them playing worse or better. Okay? So somebody on Twitter saying we suck, and then a bunch of other people going, oh, they need your support more than ever. What's wrong with you? The person who said we suck didn't tell you they want to stop coming to games. They didn't tell you they weren't going to love the university and contribute anymore. They didn't tell you. But even if they had, it's their right to do so.
Yeah, for me, make suggestions on if you want to be happier, then get off the social media stuff. But fan how you want to fan. I don't give a damn. For me, I engage less in times like these because I know it's just going to be an echo chamber of making you feel worse than you did the 10 minutes before you logged on.
Yeah, so you mean you engage less in the sense that you're on social media. I agree with that.
Social media, even the conversations, because the conversations don't go anywhere productive after about, the first few minutes, because it's just, you just reiterate the same things over and over.
Yeah.
But at least we have results that we can work with now instead of being in the doldrums of 9 months where we're reacting to the offensive line sucking in 2018.
Well, the focus this week has been a lot about how it's really, 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 really frustrating to lose that Virginia game because you had better players than Virginia. And once again, we had this continued narrative of the fourth quarter being what it was, and that's maddening because you had a chance to win that game and kind of start to shift the narrative and change the way you thought a little bit. But also, there was progress, and those two things can be true, and you can talk about them.
I think the good news is we're closer to either having a new defensive coordinator or not. We're closer to either a second term of Willie's contract or not, or a brand new head coach.
Right.
But we're getting closer to whatever it is. We're getting closer.
I'll concede, though, things get really ugly if they lose Saturday. I mean, because
we'll be getting closer to a conclusion if that's the case. But if we win, we're still getting closer to something.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. We'll be really getting very close.
We're one day closer to the future of the program tomorrow. And I don't know what that future is.
People want answers, though. That's the other reason for the frustration. They want to know, what's the future? It can't be this. I can't continue to watch this.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Oh, there's a real good chance that it could be, and that you got to ride it out for another year.
Well, if this team shuts down eventually, which it hasn't yet, and I think that should be really pointed out often, that we've almost waited for them. And I think some fans have wanted them to shut it down on this guy because they want to be right about him being the bad coach.
Then it's over.
But they haven't given up. If they did in a couple of weeks' time, let's just say you drop this one and you get blown up by Clemson, so on the other side of that you've got real problems. Then you're back in another rebuild. I mean, because you got to change the culture again. And these kids have been on campus for a year or two. The transfer portal exists. I mean, all of that stuff.
I can hear somebody, well done to work that in. I can hear somebody right now going, I can't do it. I can't do another one. I can't go through this again.
If we get a new coach, as long as it's not Urban Meyer, I can't do that.
Well, that's never going to happen.
As long as it's not him.
No.
I know.
Of course not. No, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be the host of a talk show in Tallahassee not talking about Florida State football ever if Urban Meyer were the head coach. Other than I'd be on a campaign to get him removed, and I'd be ashamed. No. What? How did that come out of your mouth? What?
People want him.
Oh, good.
They're desperate.
Good God.
$20.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
Cornerstone Tool and Fastener in Makita welcome back football season. And to kick it off, we are bringing the best deals of the year. Buy a brushless premium Makita 5-amp hour kit, get an instant $50 gift rebate and your choice of another bare tool free. Plus, we are adding in another 5-amp battery for free. That's 3 batteries and 3 tools. Check out our specials on cordless blowers, chainsaws, compressors, and so much more. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Seminole Headlines, presented by Capital City Bank. You're damn right. Catch Jeff Corey and Ira each Tuesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Exclusive events and special cigar deals continue at Jerry's Cigar Shop throughout September. All month long, enjoy buy one get one free cigars and specialty marked 5-packs available at both Jerry's Cigar Shop locations. Then on Thursday, September 19th, heads will turn during the incredible Crowned Heads cigar event from 6 to 10 p.m. Experience exclusive event-only deals and limited release blends. Only at the Crowned Heads cigar event, Thursday, September 19th at Jerry's Cigar Shop on Cary Forest Parkway.
A Sport Clips Championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music, and at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So download the app, check in, and get your hair in the game.
Win an ultimate fan cave experience. Text Fan Cave to 66555 and enter to win a $1,500 prize giveaway from Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales. Win a 50-inch flat screen TV, refrigerator for your ice-cold Bud Light, and more. Text Fan Cave to 66555 or visit TriEagleSales.com. Bud Light, famous among friends. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales.
Hardee's new Monster Roast Beef Sandwich is stacked with slow-cooked roast beef, slices of crispy applewood smoked bacon, all covered in layers of melted cheese. This tasty triple threat is kind of like an epic no-hands backflip on a wild Mustang while spearing a great white shark. How you got a wild horse out in the middle of the ocean isn't important. What's important is that the new Monster Roast Beef Combo with fries and a Dr. Pepper is only available at Hardee's.
Available for limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
People always appreciate it when you deliver on a promise and go the extra mile. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, our team would treat you like you would want to be treated. Zero interest financing and low monthly payments are available when you're approved for the Carrier credit card. Apply at baranoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Hendrick.
Don't miss the kickoff to savings at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC. 2019 GMC Sierra 1500s up to $13,000 off. We are professional grade. DaleJr.GMC.com. Plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin chart. See dealer for details.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
A lot of angry coaches out there. Carolina Panthers coach Ron Rivera abruptly exited his press conference today after less than 2.5 minutes when questions about the status of quarterback Cam Newton were asked. He responded, I just asked you to ask me questions about somebody else. I'm not going to do this anymore. I told you I won't know anymore until tomorrow. Thank you. And as he left, he said, golly. Newton did not practice for the third straight day after re-aggravating his left foot sprain against the Bucs this past Thursday, so a week ago. And that is what prompted the questions. He's been missing practice, and so the reporters were asking about availability for the weekend, whether or not he was going to play at all of that.
Well, he had to lie to them in the postgame to save his own skin on Thursday because the question was his foot such that, and he goes, his foot wasn't such that. He cuts off the reporter and says that Cam's foot had nothing to do with the 4th and inches call. So when you get caught in a lie, you're going to get roasted the next week when Cam's out for the foot injury.
For the foot injury, right? He did go on to say, this is funny, he was taken to first team snaps. Kyle Allen was taking first team snaps all week. And he was asked whether or not Newton would start. Nope, Cam was in meeting role today. The two-time NFL Coach of the Year said he was inside for treatment. Kyle's preparing as though he's going to start. We'll have more clarity tomorrow as we continue to go forward. Tomorrow we should have a good feel for where he is, and we'll go from there. Of his 7 questions, 5 were about Newton's status, including one on whether or not he would make the trip to Arizona on Friday to face the Cardinals, who are 0-2. Big game for both those teams, huh? Well, the Cardinals aren't 0-2. They have a tie. They're 0-1-1. That's a misprint, ESPN. But the Carolina Panthers are definitely 0-2. Mm-hmm. Neither team has a win. We could put it that way. So,
boy, and this is about as easy a schedule as you could ask for if you're Arizona to start the first 3 weeks. A Cam Newton-less Carolina Panthers caps off a sequence of home against the Lions and then the Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore Ravens.
Which, as of right now, got to give credit where credit's due. They haven't played anybody, but he has picked apart the people they have played. So we'll see.
Arizona played him tight, though. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I don't think I think they're a bad team, meaning Arizona. I obviously don't think much of this Carolina team right now. But I would not have gone as far as Paul Feinbaum did yesterday, which obviously a lot of people have asked me about as if I'm friends with Paul. I get a lot of those questions, and I think it's odd. No, we're not on a regular texting basis or anything like that. Look, here's the thing. You can't act as if Cam didn't help that franchise. That was the part of the statement that I thought was ludicrous, where he says, when talking about Cam Newton, that Cam is selfish and it's always been about Cam. Fine, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I don't know Cam Newton. I don't cover Cam Newton. I can't answer that. I know, I just know what I see as him as a player, right? Well, as a player, Cam had some really good years, including an MVP season, and he took that team to the Super Bowl. Now, I'll grant you, he played terribly in that Super Bowl, and I would have needed him to jump on a fumble late in that game that he stared at, and that will forever tarnish his image, at least as a gamer, in those moments. Now, it's complicated because when you hear somebody say, you question whether or not he's a gamer, he leads the NFL in being hit more than any other quarterback in the league, and it's by a lot over the last 4 years. So he's obviously played through bodily harm. He's been out there. He's given it a go. And he certainly gave it a go all of last year when he was hurt. Now, I thought they should have pulled him because he was ineffective, but he was playing hurt. So I can't say that he's a Jake. He's not a Jake. He tries hard. He's out there. He's giving everything he's got. He ran on every third down for 4 years, and you couldn't stop him. His body was taking punishment there, and he did have an MVP season. So don't, the comment was, he set the Carolina franchise back. What? Are you crazy?
No.
He got them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And
you're insane.
He was doing things that season that nobody had ever seen. And it might be the bulb that burns twice as bright for half as long, because the one thing where I would say I kind of get where he's going, but the words were so poorly chosen that I'm not going to defend him.
Okay, the part that he said he's done, all right, listen, I kind of intimated as much 2 days ago, so I'm not ripping him for that. I think he's in trouble. It looks like he's breaking down.
But he's a front runner, and he was on the way up, before they started to really succeed. Remember, the first few years of his career.
Walk off the field.
The guy that was on the dais for the Super Bowl post-game interview.
Had to go.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
No.
The guy that was in the post game for the Super Bowl is the same guy that Cam was for the first 4 seasons of his career.
That is correct.
But to say that he was of no value or to
it's
insinuate as much that he sets the franchise back is absurd. They They could have easily been hoisting a Super Bowl trophy.
And it would have been because of him.
One of the best defenses we've seen in the last 10, 15 years.
Sure. It's not that cut and dry. I mean, a lot of things are in the gray area, and you don't have to try to make them an absolute. And a lot of people do. I'm not talking about you. I'm just the Royal.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's...
No, he's a front runner. That's an absolute. That's who Cam is. But they were up front and running for a couple of years.
Yeah,
then.
And he was really good in those seasons. God. Really good. And he made life extremely difficult for all involved, because you'd have him and he'd get loose. He's bigger than your linebackers. He's faster than your linebackers. I mean, Jesus, it was a nightmare dealing with him.
Well, we said it, maybe it was on Scuttlebucks, I don't know, or it was yesterday during the show, but it's demoralizing if it was 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2.
It's a first down.
Right.
It's a first down. You got no chance. Yeah. Listen, I equate that to Tebow in the SEC.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
So, one of the most dominant players in college football history.
Yes.
And the automatic, he's Mariano Rivera from 3rd and 2, 4th and 2 in college.
Count it.
This dude did it on Sundays.
Yes. I know. Did it on Sundays.
That's so much harder to do.
Yeah. No, and he's paying a dear price for it now. And I think that's what we're seeing. And I think that's why so many people have these questions. And it's funny, I think his coach knows it. That's why he's frustrated. He knows they're screwed. They're screwed. I mean, you tell me he feels good about Kyle Allen rolling out there. All right, we're just going to get it done with Kyle Allen. Man, he was this close to getting fired a year ago. Now Cam's hurt. The offense looks stagnant.
He lied to the media about the circumstances of the 4th down call last week.
And now he's rolling Kyle Allen out there, who might win against Arizona because Arizona's not any good. Maybe. But, he can see the writing on the wall here. They're about to go through a really, we think.
Why don't they go get the guy that was undefeated against us, the backup? I forget his name. Oh, Derek Anderson. That's exactly right.
Ass every week.
Should go get him. He'll go win a game for you in a pinch. Seen it.
Especially if it's against the Bucs, and he'll look like Joe Montana doing it. Good Lord. We couldn't stop that guy to save our life.
Personally, bottom line, I'm just glad that Urban Meyer valued laptops over women at Florida. Because
if he hadn't,
Cam would have. I mean, you talk about an encore. That's better than than the actual main event act. Is this guy?
It's like the Colts with all their quarterbacks every freaking year of Green Bay. We go from one Hall of Famer to the next. Really? That's what we're doing?
And you know what? That joke about Urban Meyer becomes all the more true after the Ohio State thing. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, of course.
But he kicked Cam off in the same year as Chris Rainey had time to die, bitch, in the text.
Yeah.
But, all these years later, that rings all the more true that laptops are more valuable to Urban Meyer than women.
Yes. Especially when, his own wife came to him and said, we've got a real problem with one of your assistant coaches.
Hush up, woman.
Do you have a laptop?
Why didn't you give me only sons?
Oh, it's the Jeff Cameron Show. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Fitness.com.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fees. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left!
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Nicole had a rough week. On Monday, she spilled coffee on her new shirt.
Aw, man.
Tuesday, she stubbed her toe.
Ow.
Wednesday, she got a surprise visit from her in-laws. And Thursday, she got in a little fender bender. But Nicole turned things around with Fantasy 5 Bonus Cash Fridays from the Florida Lottery, offering 50% more payouts for Fantasy 5 every Friday in September. End your week with a win. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it.
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Cornerstone Tool and Fastener and Makita welcome back football season. And to kick it off, we are bringing the best deals of the year. Buy a brushless premium Makita 5 amp hour kit, get an instant $50 gift rebate and your choice of another bare tool free. Plus, we are adding in another 5 amp battery for free. That's 3 batteries and 3 tools. Check out our specials on cordless blowers, chainsaws, compressors, and so much more. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey will play tonight against the Titans, but ESPN's Josina Anderson reports Ramsey expects to be traded in the next few days. He has asked to be traded, and a number of teams are very interested, including the Chiefs, Ravens, Vikings, Raiders, Eagles, and Seahawks. That Jaguars-Titans game tonight kicks off Week 3. The 0-2 Giants will play the Buccaneers in Tampa on Sunday with rookie Daniel Jones at quarterback. ESPN's Victor Cruz wonders if Eli Manning will end up playing somewhere else next season.
I think he has to answer that question within himself. I want him to play. I want him to go to Jacksonville. I want him to go to Pittsburgh. I want him to go to these Carolina. I want him to go to a team where he can play. I still want to see Eli Manning play, but obviously seeing him in a different jersey and a different uniform will be eerie and weird.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Happy Redemption Thursday, one and all. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Miss anything, go back and get caught up at your leisure. All 3 hours to be posted upon the conclusion of the show. iTunes is where you can find it, as well as on our webpage. If you go to iTunes, rate, review, share, all that good stuff. Email us if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameron Show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopes. And thanks to all of you out there listening on traditional radio, just driving around in your cars. That's right.
It's comforting to have a show such as this in your car.
Just like that.
I like going home and listening to headlines on a Tuesday. It's just, I feel like, the three of you guys are just in the car with me.
Right there in the
it's
car.
Great.
You're just driving down the road. You're like, look at these guys. My pals are discussing my favorite topic. And it's frustrating right now. I know what it is. I know that it is. With the team being, not very good. It's a toughie. But you got to discuss it. Got to talk about it. Got the hows and whys and perhaps the way out.
Like I say, Jeff, Corey, Ira, please. I'm at Cap Circle in Mayhan. This is very frustrating. Can you please keep it down? Please.
We have some audio I'll play for you in a moment. First, that was from I just think it's interesting because there's a chance you'll see Alex Hornibrook this weekend. No Joanne Williams, by the way. He's not back, so that'll be interesting to see. I got to tell you, I've been pleasantly surprised. I thought, now look, Joanne, he's not very good. So, when he doesn't play, it's not like you go from a guy that's going to be drafted in the first round to somebody that has to come off the bench with limited playing time and, is not destined for the next level. You're just talking about varying degrees of bad right now with this offensive line, save for Dante Lucas. How great was it to see him grade out so highly in this last game against a pretty good defensive line for Virginia?
Yeah, I think it was important that he graded out well, also because Ryan Roberts did not have a good game. No. And the step up in competition was a bit of a troubling matter for Ryan. But, hey, listen, that's the learning curve when now you got to get used to this week in, week out. Even though Louisville is no great shakes, it still is much better than what he was facing last year on a weekly basis.
Yeah. So, I guess we're at a point now where obviously we watch that group every week. I will say what we did guess about the scheme and Briles and Clements working so well together. In the offseason, we talked about how the plan to play, at tempo and those two, their relationship and how it's a symbiotic relationship going back a long time. It has helped mitigate a lot of our glaring issues on the offensive line from a year ago. And it's because we don't really let defenses get set. And that's why, and I'm telling you, and he'll say it again if you ask him again, and I think we could probably just stop at this point. He does not care about the disparity in time of possession, and he's not going to care. And he's going to tell you, I'm going to go even faster the second these kids are capable of it. We're going to go as fast as humanly possible at all times. And he's doing that, A, because that's the offense, and B, it's the thing that gives them a fighting chance in the trenches. If you let a defense get set against us, they're dead up front. Yeah. And you see it all the time, Tom. Every time we go slow and slow things down at all, that offensive line gets beat to hell.
Well, and if you look at Louisville, Notre Dame's talked about a little bit. When Louisville had a chance to get set on third and shorts or obvious downs, they had some success against Notre Dame, and that offense doesn't run at pace.
Right.
But if you run at pace, you saw Virginia last week. How many coverages did they blow? Tons of them. They weren't ready for that speed.
No.
It looked, in a way, it's refreshing. I know we lose the game, but it reminds me of watching us against Temple. You're like, good Lord.
Yeah, when we couldn't get set.
Have we forgotten how to play the game? But that's what the speed does. It forces you to make a choice that you don't want to have to make in a time of period you're not comfortable making the decision.
You're in conflict. You're often winded. If you can't sub them out because we haven't changed personnel, then you're in trouble. You're on your heels. And that offensive line doesn't have to do much but hold up for a second or two. And so it's not a traditional thing. That's why they run it. It's helping to mitigate the problems on the offensive line. So he's always going to run tempo. And if you ask him about that time of possession stuff, he's going to tell you that, hey, listen, I'll run even faster if I can. The other thing that I would note with that is, again, and I talked about this before earlier in the week, and it's important to note this. Virginia ran 73 plays.
Mm-hmm.
Not 103, not 113, not 123. They ran 73 plays. That's nothing. If you're tired after a team runs 73 plays, you need to get in a lot better shape. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I think 40 minutes of being locked in mentally is exhausting, especially when they run how many plays in 3 consecutive drives in the fourth quarter. I mean, isn't there something
if you want to cite the fourth quarter, that's fine. But if you're telling me plays and disparity of the time of possession, that's the defense's fault. Get off the field. Screw you. That's not Kendall Briles' fault at all. They don't get off the field on third down ever. That's their fault. When you're last in categories like that, then screw you. It's 3rd and 7, you give it up. It's 3rd and 9, you give it up. It's 3rd and 4, you give it up. It's 4th and 2, you give it up. Tough luck. It's them. It's on them. They don't make plays ever to get off the field. And they play that soft-ass zone, and they give up 5 to 8 yards. They don't even make a quarterback beat them deep. In fact, they lead the country in fewest explosive plays down the field given up on defense. Are they a good defense? No. But they're refusing to give up anything big down the field. Fine. But they're willing to then die a slow death. They're giving up 10-play drives, 11-play drives, 14-play drives. You had 2 separate 9-play drives, 2 separate 11-play drives. If you can't get off the field because it's constantly third and manageable, then that's on you. That's not Kendall Briles. That's not time of possession that you can cite. To me, that's just you're not a good defense.
Yeah, but they're getting tired. I think it's whether or not it's their fault or the offense's fault. They're getting tired in the fourth quarter.
The way the conversation works is that it's the offense's fault. It's time of possession and Kendall Briles not slowing things down. I don't agree with that assessment. It's that they don't get off the field. They have plenty of opportunities.
Unfortunately, given the weapons that Louisville has this weekend, I think playing safe would actually be the smart course of action.
You can't play any safer than we do.
Playing as we do once more would be the course of action. Because you're going to force those quarterbacks to make throws all the way down the field.
No, what'll happen, if you play the way we play, it's going to be 2nd and 2 every time. And you're screwed because they'll run outside zone and we won't stay in our lanes and we won't fit, and then they'll convert, and then they'll just complete an easy pass underneath, and they'll have 10 and 15-play drives. I'd rather give up a touchdown. I'd rather give up a touchdown in one play and get the offense back. But I'd also trade that out with this.
You would against these skill players.
There you go. Let's go. I mean, we played the game. Go back to week 1. Our conversation, I stick by it. Win the games 41-38. Played it that way. It's boom or bust, both sides of the ball. Complementary offense and defense. I'm coming at you, which is going to force turnovers. I'm going to get sacks. You're going to make mistakes. You're also going to beat me sometimes. But I'm not going to be sitting out here for 15-play drives.
I think the Virginia example it's a little bit more nuanced though, because they're holding Virginia in the teens for most of the game. And if you pick up 1 first down the stretch, I mean, the fact that you're in that position, if you've only produced so little on offense by that point in the game, means that the defense had to do something right to get you there, to get you to the table. Now you got to take it home on offense. Like if you're trusting somebody to close a game on this team, who you trusting? You trust the offense, then probably like Ricky Aguayo before you even consider trusting the defense. They're going to have to go get the game for you.
The problem is he schemed 21 points open that this would have never mattered.
Sure.
None of this would have mattered. So that's, again, so if they had hit on those big plays, their time of possession would have increased by 1 minute. And they would have won the game by 2 touchdowns, and we wouldn't be talking about this. But they let Louisville stay out there. I mean, Louisville, that's who we play this week. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Virginia stay out there, especially in the fourth quarter. That's how 21 points are given up. They're out there all the time. And so the margin of error just continues to shrink. Go. Take your chances. That kid couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if you made him throw it down the field. They didn't do that. They just kept giving up everything underneath. It drove me nuts. Play up on guys, or at least play an attacking zone. You can play zone. Lots of people play zone. I mean, but they play in a way in which if a guy comes into your area, you're allowed to play the guy.
Yeah, you need a magic wand for us to play an attacking zone, though. We haven't been able to teach it. I know. And in man, we get beat all the damn time, too, with poor technique or whatever it is.
Yeah, but in man, I think you have, you don't have to, again, I'm not going to be the guy that says play man. Play a more attacking zone. Obviously, just play correct zone instead of that crazy soft shell. Just play a correct zone.
If we did, we'd be 3-0, and none of these games would have been close.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I get
so sad.
But that's why I get so mad at this defense is that, and look, last week they did a better job against the run. I warned after that game, and I know a lot of people have talked about that, about how we look good up front. Virginia's offensive line's not good. So they got beat up. Virginia's offensive line got beat up. Our big 3 beat them up.
Yeah, Marvin Wilson was living in the backfield.
They wreaked havoc up front. And that's why we were so effective against the run. If you eliminate somebody's ability to run the ball, shouldn't we be looking at, I don't know, 4 or 5 sacks, couple picks,
Yeah.
because you become predictable with an inaccurate passer?
No, I hear you. It's just before the last drive even started, they'd come off of a 6.5-minute drive. We retort with a 2-minute, 30-second scoring drive. And then they have a 5-minute, 40-second scoring drive where we got to make first downs at that point. Like, I understand that what you're saying about 70 plays versus 40 minutes and the way that Boise ran 110 or 108.
73 plays is not a lot of plays if you look at the national average.
But the way the game is trending at the end, the offense has to be your closer. And you get the ball in the hands of your closer and you're up a point because they missed a PAT.
Right.
No, we didn't close.
It
goes hand in hand is what I'm saying.
They've got to play. I mean, maybe that's why this audio makes sense. Here is Willie Taggart, and a testy Willie Taggart at that. Audio courtesy of warchant.com.
How would you evaluate James' performance this week? And is Alex?
I thought I told you that on Monday.
Well, you've got some practice between now and then.
James had some throws that he wish he could have had back and could have helped our football team, and look to see him improve from there. And Alex been doing a good job for us, and we have some plays and things to where we want to be able to get Alex in and let him run some of those plays, and hopefully get a chance to do that.
Well, that's interesting because it kind of answers our question about whether or not they're even kicking the tires on putting Alex Hornibrook in there for James Blackman, who's leaving points on the field every week and can't hit wide open people in crucial situations that would perhaps give us a little bit of a respite from this kind of debate because we'd be comfortably ahead by 2 and 3 touchdowns. When you say that, it means that Kendall Briles and the head coach had the conversation. So now you know that Kendall's thinking about it and I think Kendall's in favor of it. I think it's pretty clear.
I think that's very dangerous, though, to commit to that. And Willie is clearly opening the door for a 2-quarterback system at the very least, because if you think he's going to come in for a package of plays, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, I'd consider Big Coop for a package play before I would consider Hornibrook, because that would mean you're a specialist, right? Like, what are you running with the Hornibrook plays? You running the option?
No.
Is he going to run the speed option for you? So the Wildcat doesn't make any sense. But Pro Football Focus says that we are the second most pressured team in all of Power 5. And James Blackman under pressure, his numbers are in the top 20, depending upon different categories you look at.
Right.
Is Hornibrook going to be able to escape pressure in the pocket consistently the way James Blackman has in order to give us a fighting chance to succeed on offense?
I'd counter and tell you that we would keep defenses on their heels and drives alive longer because he would convert the plays that are there on first down. So the reason James under pressure is when he fails on first down to hit guys that are schemed open, and we get into second and obvious, third and obvious. And we know what happens then because we can't block it. If you win first down, I'm talking about when you pass on first down. Now, obviously, we're having success between the tackles when we run the ball with Cam, and that helps both quarterbacks out. I think James is good in that situation when we start moving to there. But I'm just talking about in the passing game. You can't run on first down every time. People begin to key in on that. So you got to keep him a little bit balanced. And he's missing those throws. So if Hornibrook hits him and we're in constant second and short, second and manageable, third and short, and then we just keep drives alive that way, if he's more consistent and more accurate, hitting open guys that are there, then I don't think you face all these pressures. The pressures come because we're missing on opportunities, and the next thing you know, we're behind the chains.
Okay, so if we have an incomplete pass on first down and a run for 2 on second, we're screwed, though. Like with him, you got no chance, whereas with Blackman, you got at least a chance to extend the drive.
Yeah, but we aren't it's not like Blackman's using his legs in the running game at all. Remember how we thought maybe that would happen? You're not losing. I know that's not what you're saying, but I'm saying we're not losing that aspect that we and that's another thing that's frustrating. Was we thought that would give him an advantage.
That will be open for business this weekend.
Maybe
Louisville does over pursue like crazy. Ian Book through either broken plays or read options, which they don't run a ton of at Notre Dame anyway. Mm-hmm. They didn't respect it at all. Looks like us the past 5 years with the read option. They just crash.
Let's hope like hell that we utilize it then, because James isn't a statue.
No.
Per your stats. I mean, he's not a statue. He's not always great when he's moving, though. He doesn't protect the football.
But I think he deserves credit for the middle portion of this game against Virginia, a couple of really key plays where he makes defenders look silly to create a little bit more time. He was under constant duress, and I think he handles that quite well. I don't know that Hornibrook has ever seen. Like, we talk about what the Bucs are going to do to Daniel Jones this weekend.
We hope.
He's never seen the blitzes like he's going to see against Bulls. We hope, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
is Hornibrook ready for the pressures he's about to face on a consistent basis? Because at least I know James can make some plays when he's under duress.
Well, he can make you miss and keep a pocket alive. I got to imagine Kendall's, it's not like Kendall's looking at him and doesn't realize that. So the way he'll call those plays obviously will be fitting of what Alex Hornibrook's skill set is. Listen, I'm frustrated with James. Clearly Kendall is. Clearly Willie is. Obviously. You don't just say what he just said.
I'm not frustrated with James.
I mean, I'm frustrated.
Yes, I agree.
But I don't know that, and I haven't been advocating for Alex Hornibrook. So when somebody's just tuning in and they think, you're advocating for – I haven't. I've just wondered aloud, I think as we all have, whether or not Kendall is interested. Because he schemed open touchdowns, Tom, that he just didn't hit or didn't see.
I wonder if Kendall's interested or is Willie, because Willie answered a question that's supposed to be about this week's practice performance, and he says, I told you on Monday. So unless he's a fortune teller, he didn't hear the question correctly. And secondly, he says, I hope we see that. We've got some plays for him. Does that mean that you want to see him as the head coach or that you had the conversation?
We won't know that. We can't know that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but we can't know that. I can't know if Kendall was frustrated to the point that he went to Willie and said, I'm thinking about maybe easing Alex into this thing because he's a little bit more consistent, or if Willie's so mad that he walks in and says, damn it, because those touchdowns that he didn't hit cost us the game.
Right.
And Willie is feeling quite obviously by that testy response.
Oh, he was already mad by the previous question, which was about Travis Jay's status.
Which is,
and then it rolled into that question, and he didn't listen to what the question was asking.
He's mad. He's just mad. He's frustrated.
And then he used that question to platform Alex Hornibrook. I mean, that's a bizarre 30 seconds on a Thursday before. On a Thursday, you're like 3 minutes away from having Alex Hornibrook stun us all by playing on Saturday. Yeah, if you get out of that media availability, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now it's out there. Now we're thinking about it. Now you have to think about it.
Well, sure, he spoke it into being, but I would say that I was thinking about it already just because, again, there was – it's not just the touchdown to Tamorrion Terry. Everybody points to that play, and that is a very big play that you have to hit, and that average to bad quarterbacks hit all over the country all the time. But there were two other major yardage possible touchdowns left out on the field, and I think when they went back and looked, that's why I said I would have loved to have seen the all-22s. From where I was on the 50 up, I could see, there's one play where you're like, oh, this is set up beautifully. This is going to work. This is going to work. It's on the left hash, and Kendall had to have just been like, okay, I'm going to go home. Like, what do you want me to do? I set that play up all night. It's a touchdown, and you never even looked there. He didn't even look there. He went straight to a covered man on the right side. I'm just like, oh, my God. So I knew then he's going to be pissed. When he looks at that film, he probably didn't even have to look at the film for that one. But there were others. He's going to go back and go, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And it led me back to when we speculated, because I thought it was no contest, said as much over and over again, that James was going to be the quarterback, really isn't a competition. Yeah. We all saw Alex. We saw Alex at Wisconsin. He was terrible. There's no real reason to think that kid could come in and take the job. And then all of a sudden we're hearing it's neck and neck coming down to the wire. That's probably why, is that he was missing those things in practice.
Fully fair and reasonable, and it could be that Hornibrook runs the offense better.
But you do risk a lot if you put him in.
You risk losing 3rd and 10 is like, you might just want to call a run. The way our offensive line blocks, it was pretty bad against Virginia. I thought James did a very nice job, but Kendall's looking at it every day. I got it. It might work better. You were just a couple of minutes away from that being a surprise change up for that ass on Saturday. Instead, it's out of a question that could have been answered. James had a good week of practice. He decided to inject it in there. So maybe it's intentional. I don't know.
We're watching it, guys. We're watching it right now. Now, this is a big game, and he knows it. That's one of the reasons. The other thing is you've already had, I don't know if it's a controversy, but it's certainly been a talking point. It's probably been hurtful for Harlan. You've had this situation with Levitt. And Willie's had to talk about that. I'm sure he doesn't love that situation. They're 1-2. He does not like the rampant speculation on an hourly basis about his job. So this is what you're seeing. This is the byproduct of that.
Like, can it be a dumpster fire while you feel like you're improving every week?
Well, let's
because if it can be, then
Saturday's game's important. Tom.
Yeah,
we'll go a long way in talking about where we're at. You lose that game Saturday, you've got very little support remaining. To say the least. You win that game, okay. 2-2. 1-1 in the ACC.
Yeah, you need to be 3-2 going into the bye.
Yeah, because you're going to get worked by Clemson in a way that's unimaginable at this point. Given what we've seen from this defense against that offense, I'll save it. When we come back, here you go. I'll give you the wagers for Redemption Thursday. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday wagers for charity. Remember, we're keeping score, the honor system. You guys know whether or not you're up on me, and I know what I've lost and what I haven't. And non-perishable food items, probably, I think this will be the last week before I donate to a charity. You guys, if you're losing to me, do the same, and we'll go from there. You can tweet at me your wagers. They're posted on our Facebook page. And so you can find them there. And did we tweet them out too? I can't remember. Probably
might have tweeted a link out to him at least.
Yeah. So there you go. You can find those wagers, those picks, and I'll tell you what they are right now. But whether it's cereal, can of tuna, whatever you want to do, that's fine. People benefit, and it's a lot of fun. Not allowed to wager cash on the show, so here you go. This is how it works. In the NFL, I'd take 2 games. Really don't like the games this week. You and I are in a pool together where we got to take 5. I'm doing well in that pool through 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm going to do real well this week. I don't like any of these games. It's really hard to find a game. I kind of like Washington getting 4 at home against the Bears, so I took it. The Bears' offense is terrible.
Yeah, the Bears are in an interesting place.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback, so that's the place they're in. They got an incredible defense and a quarterback that's spotty at best, and they're going to get pissed at Nagy pretty soon. That offense is not fun to watch.
It was. It's like November, December last year, and it was a ton of fun to watch.
Jacksonville getting a 1.5 tonight. Tom's right to second guess this. I'm banking that they're rallying the troops to try to salvage a season. And they're at home against a quarterback who averaged 5 yards a throw last week and 150 yards total. They could just as easily lay down, and they could lose 38-7 tonight. I mean, admittedly. But I'm playing a hunch. They played hard on defense last week. They were really good, in fact, last week on defense. I mean, the Texans didn't do anything. So that was the Texans game, right?
Yeah.
It was, they scored on a short field.
They had two division games last week because then it was close between Indy and Tennessee, with Indy winning.
Yeah. So it's, I'm just going to take Jacksonville at home. Thursday games are tough for teams. I'll take the home team with the better defense and go from there. In college football, I like Washington to beat BYU. I feel like BYU's been lucky to win some of the games they have, and so I'm happy they did. It's cool they beat USC and Tennessee, but I think Washington gets the win here, and it's less than a touchdown. I said in my mind, if I get less than a touchdown, I'll take it, so I gave the 6.5 in that game. Colorado's been game. They're not a great team, but Arizona State's offense isn't really good either, so I'm getting 8.5 here. I'll take 8.5. That's a big number. App State's got a chance to win the game outright against North Carolina. They're getting 3 points. I think it's a nail biter at the very least. I'll take App State getting 3 points there. I like Oregon to boat race Stanford. I like most teams to boat race Stanford. Stanford has got 2 injured tackles. Their athleticism is the worst I've seen since Shaw's been there. They don't have explosive plays. They offered nothing against UCF. I don't think they have anything to offer. So I'm going to take Oregon and give the 10.5. I think Oregon wins by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that might be something that comes up with Lee tomorrow. I wonder if that's a pick of his because he's been on Oregon early. He was against Stanford early, and it would make sense.
It's a beautiful marriage right there.
Well, you got the travel problem for Stanford, and Oregon's been playing cupcakes up to this point, whereas Stanford's been going through some grueling scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oregon is a good football team. I think they're, not a great football team, but a good football team. And I think they, we saw that against Auburn. They had a chance. They should have won that game and
did what they do.
Still kicking
what the Pac-12 does.
That's correct.
Auburn does what it does in week 1 against a Pac-12 team.
I've been wanting to do this, Tom. I've been wanting to find an angle to work them back in because, I loved them a year ago, and I found the angle. They're to the over in all of their games so far this year. So welcome back to Redemption Thursday, Utah State.
Hey. All right, our friends.
We found a reason. I'm taking the over 53.5, Utah State and San Diego State. Utah State, every game they've played has been over so far. So that's the angle. Had to find it.
Welcome back. That's comforting.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's like a fresh blanket out of the dryer.
Oh, this is going to be good. Auburn's getting 4 against the Fighting Jimbos. I took Auburn on the road. I like the 4 points. I think they'll play well.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I think it'll be a good game. I'm actually kind of excited about that game, to be real honest with you.
So you're going to tape it?
Well, there's no
simultaneous kickoffs.
Nobody's taping anything these days.
The old DVR?
Yeah, probably DVR it. I'm going to see it one way or the other. I'm going to see that game. And then Cal's getting 2.5 against Ole Miss. I think Cal wins the game. So there you go.
Is that a holdover from Cal beating Washington?
It's just Cal's got a good defense, and Ole Miss has the bad offense. That's what I'm going with. I mean, when you can't block it up, we've seen this song and dance here. When you can't block, it's tough to win, and Ole Miss is struggling to block. So give me Cal's defense to win the game. Getting points. I think that's that is a direct result of the names. That's an SEC team against a middling to poor Pac-12 team, and people are like, oh, well, you got to take the SEC all day long. And it may work out because they're pretty much both bad teams. But I like Cal's defense, so give them. Yeah, I like them there. And then finally, because you guys asked me to do this, I will. Many of these are not being played in my personal life. This would be one that is not played in my personal life. But I'll take Florida State. I got it below 7. So anything
being bet in that direction.
Yeah, anything above a touchdown you don't want to do. I mean, imagine taking us and giving more than a single score. Come on. Have you seen us play?
I thought it was a good pick until this morning's press availability when I don't know what the quarterback plan is going to be because we haven't exhibited that we have cogent plans of attack and how to stay in rhythm. And that's before Kendall got here. I'm just a little worried if it's helter-skelter.
Your worry is interesting because your worry is on the offensive side. My worry is completely on the defensive side against, again, Louisville. You mentioned the athletes, the speed, and then I talk about the need to play good, smart, assignment-sound football against a lot of outside zone that we're going to see, and I just don't trust it.
Well, I think rhythm is really going to matter on offense, and here's why. In watching Louisville and Notre Dame, and I did so this morning, their defense is terrible. Like, it's really bad. Notre Dame was able to run when they wanted.
Yeah, I watched that game.
Especially early on, but then they got away from it. It was almost like they wanted to get Ian Book some reps to get him comfortable, and the next thing they know, they're in a dogfight because he was he was so bad.
He was awful.
That might be one of the worst quarterback performances to date this season. He was missing wide open guys.
No, he did, yeah.
The middle of the field is open for business against this defense, and you can run on it. Two things that tempo works with and exploits beautifully.
I like us for that reason, too. I'm giving the 6.5.
They bite on clear outs. The seam routes are wide open. Their linebackers are terrible. So if you're in rhythm, then we're A-okay, but I'm worried about, if we're alternating drives or something like that.
I don't think that's what they're going to
do.
do. I think Willie misspoke. I don't think that's what they're going to do. James going to start. Here's a prediction. James is going to start, which we know. They're going to get going early. They're going to get in rhythm early. They're going to have success for all the reasons you just gave, all the problems, all the weaknesses that Louisville has on defense. So they'll get going early. The fans that go to this game, all 40,000 that show up to this game.
40,000 strong.
There will be a sense of here we go again because the Noles are going to get up. They're going to score, and we're going to be putting up points. And then everybody's going to be sitting around at halftime, whatever that number is, going, okay, can we do this? Can we finish a game? Can we go through 4 quarters and close it out? And I don't know the answer to that. We'll find out. We haven't yet.
So you think that Hornibrook comes off the bench and acts as the closer?
I don't know if he ever plays in this game. I know what he said.
You don't think that that's true?
No, I don't think that's true.
We've got some plays in there for him. Like what? Like he's Cam? Like we're running the wild Cam at quarterback?
No, I don't.
It's just, what is that?
Well, I mean, if we could ever get a lead, you could find out what he is and get him out there.
4th and goal from the 1. Bring in Hornibrook. I want 2 blockers ahead of him and let him plow through the middle.
No, I don't think they're going to do that.
Slower than an idling golf cart.
If you're going to do something like that, you'd bring in Jordan Travis.
Right.
I mean, seriously, you would. And I've actually thought about that. I mean, I'm surprised we kind of haven't done some things with him.
We've devised specific plays for Alex Hornibrook.
Well,
like the ones you want James to hit? Like the basic ones?
Like they're the same plays. We just want passes thrown accurately.
He's going to be our first down quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy that makes plays in the passing game that we need.
Alex is our first down player. And then James will be our second and long. And then Alex will be second and short. And then James will be third and long.
What a mess. Those are your Redemption Thursday wagers. I did take the Noles, by the way, for the record, minus 6.5. When's our pregame show on Saturday?
12:30 p.m.
I don't know why. I feel like a lot's going to happen between now and then. Shouldn't, but I feel like we're going to hear all kinds of weird things.
Oh, the rumor mill is going to start now. Everybody's going to be asking their people, so how much is
how
Alex
many
going
reps
to play?
has he been getting?
Is he on a pitch count?
Maybe not at all. Maybe Willie was just talking out of frustration. I don't know. Chef Cameron Show.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Yeah, normally this is not a game tonight. I mean, unless you're a Jags fan, I suppose, that you'd be really locked into. Thursday night games aren't great, although we had a nerve-wracking affair just a week ago. But B, these two teams aren't very good.
Well, are you still locked in, though, if you're a Jags fan? Do you care?
If they win tonight, you can plot a course where they got a chance in a terrible division to be around. Yeah.
But is that like moving forward as a franchise because they're going to get rid of their best player?
They're loving the Minshew guy, and so I don't know. We'll see.
That reeks of Fitz magic.
Yeah, of course.
Down to the open button shirts and stuff.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say: if they can keep Ramsey and they get Foles back mid-season a little before, then you got to just stay afloat. You got to win tonight, though. If they lose tonight, we're done talking. But if you win tonight, yeah. You can find let me just say this. Early in the year we do all the stuff where we overreact to things. And so I went back and looked at, obviously a good example would be Houston a year ago. They went 0-3 to start the year. And I recall saying, well, that's the end of that because statistically speaking, I think it's 12% of teams that have ever started 0-2 gone on to the playoffs since 1990 or something like that. And they were 0-3. And then they won 9 straight games and cruised on into the playoffs. So I looked at all the sorry-ass 0-2 teams that have started the year this year. That's why it was important the Bucs win that game. Because imagine now you're Carolina. You're 0-2. Cam's looking like he's looking. And you're kind of probably dead in the water unless something –
No, you don't believe in your coach. You haven't for years.
Yeah, you got problems there. But, I mean, if we had gone 0-2 in Tampa, I know the Giants on the horizon, but – it's hard to argue that the Bucs are going to be in a position with that schedule and all the traveling that they would find a way to anywhere near 8-8 if they had started 0-2. So going 1-1 was critical. Getting to 1-1. It's just weird to say that, but I think it's true. So anyhow, I went back and I'm looking at all the 0-2 teams. Obviously, Jets, no chance. Dolphins, no chance. Get rid of those teams, right? And you start going through and looking at the ones that are sitting at 0-2, and you think, can you make a case for anybody? Can you say, is there anybody in that group that has a chance to navigate their way out of that? The Jags defense gives them a chance if they're invested. I agree with you. If they care at all, they could.
They didn't last year. Derrick Henry ran all over their ass.
No,
but that was December at the time.
Yeah, and they were done. But I don't know. I think they'll play hard tonight. They're at home Thursday night. And Mariota threw for 150 yards last week. 150 yards with just over 5 yards per attempt. Oh, that is a child playing quarterback.
Yeah, but that might be good enough to score 9 points, which this is the 9-6 game.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a close game. I just said the Jags got to win it and go to 1-2.
Or else they're the butts once again.
Yeah. And it's fun. I mean, I'm not rooting for them in the sense that go Jags, but I may have picked them tonight getting 1.5. So I'm just saying I'll be hey, the game's right here on these airwaves. 97.9 ESPN Radio tonight.
There you go. I think people are going to be locked into this one on the roadway saying, ooh, can they get inside of 49 yards for a game-winning attempt?
Over under passing yards per attempt for Mariota tonight. 6.
He's going to hit
That's
one
a good number. That's
long
a good number.
pass that actually went for 3 yards, and it turns
the
into a Derrick Henry
way,
75-yard screen touchdown or swing pass touchdown.
And it'll be
It'll jack the number up to 6.4.
We'll see. We'll see. Meanwhile, the best thing going right now is baseball every night. And I stayed up to the bitter end last night watching the Rays complete the comeback against the Dodgers. And it was riveting baseball. Kenley Jansen, if you're a Dodgers fan, you've got to be like, well, what are we doing? We're going to win 100 and something games, and this S that we're going to roll out here in the 9th inning in a critical series in the postseason is going to cost us again, and we're all going to laugh at the Dodgers who win 100 games every year and then lose.
He was unhittable at City this weekend, so I have no idea.
Well, he came into the 9th, cruising right along with a 2-run lead. Oops, he gave it up just like that, and then they lost in extras. It was incredible. And when he came out, I saw what he did at City, and I'd seen the highlights, and he looked like he had found his form again. And
yeah, because the slider was just filthy at 92, 93. Yeah,
he'd found his form again. He was locating his fastball up and in on righties.
It was explosive, late action on it.
Yeah, everything. So when he came in, the first batter, He throws a fastball. It's flat, belt high, gets hammered to the alley. And I went, uh-oh. And you could hear it. The Dodger fans were like, here we go. And then sure as hell, he ends up walking somebody, gives up a hit. Then it's runners at second. You gave a hit.
This is out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Wow, you're up late.
Oh, it was ridiculous. I couldn't go to bed. I couldn't turn it off. I'm like, I'm going to watch the end of this game. I'm invested. I came home. I had been a guest bartender, raising money for charity. It was a good thing. Had a good time. But I wasn't there late. I got home 8:30, whatever. Put the kids down, hanging out. And my wife and I were just sitting there watching baseball. She loves baseball. And so I was like, oh, the Dodgers are Rays are on. I'll throw that on. Next thing you know, boom. Locked in. And the game was great. I mean, it was back and forth. Then the Dodgers take the lead late. I'm like, the Rays needed this game tonight. And then they come back and they score the 2 off of Jensen. Fans are booing his ass as he's walking to the to the dugout. And then they won in the 11th. That's
the
huge,
11th?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That was a huge win for them, though. That's a big. They had to have that win.
So you just woke up?
No. I got up at 6. I'm fine. Got up and worked out, buddy. Doing some things. We're rolling.
Early morning workout?
Yeah, not at 6. I got the kids ready for school, but then I went and worked out in the morning, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now.
Did you just wake up? You sound out of it. Come on,
I'm not out of it.
Let's go.
Baseball, whatever.
You're mad about the Mets? Come on, they were never really a contender. Let's go. We got good playoff
postseason baseball has never done anything. Doesn't fire up the loins. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait. I'm excited about it. I like regular season baseball too, but they're very different animals, and I'm ready to segue in because I think the postseason is going to be as good as it was a year ago, which was incredible.
We'll probably be a game and a half out next Wednesday, and they'll tantalize me again, and then they'll just pull it away.
Don't do that. Probables, here we go. Fire it up, Jerry Cigars.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Angels, Yankees, Andrew Haney, Masahiro Tanaka. Blue Jays, Orioles, Wilmer Font, Gabriel Noah. Cards, Cubs, huge series beginning in Chicago tonight. Playoff lives on the line, the whole deal. These two teams play 7 times before the end of the year.
What is interesting as my voice cracked to a weird place that Fox is broadcasting this game.
So I didn't look. I didn't know.
Fox had an MLB game last week. I think it was Braves and Nationals.
Yeah.
So the NFL Network has the Fox TV crew working Thursday Night Football, but then you have baseball. Like, couldn't you have done it on a Friday? Just weird.
Yeah. I hate both the teams, but I'm interested in the storyline. And, basically, Joe Madden is in a weird way coaching for his time in Chicago because they're not happy with him right now. They feel like this team has grossly underachieved again this year. And they're just pissed off. And now they're on the cusp of not making the playoffs. But Hendricks has had a lot of success against the Cardinals and Wrigley. And then Flaherty has been borderline the best pitcher the last several months. Yes. So this is the matchup. Jack Flaherty, Kyle Hendricks. And the two don't like each other. So this should be cool. This should be a good game. Tigers, Indians, Daniel Norris, Mike Clevenger. Royals, Twins, Mike Montgomery, Kyle Gibson. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. Yeah. Well, baseball's good right now. That game last night was fun to watch. Also saw your boy Homer, and then I saw the Suarez Homer, and then I saw Homer. Bellinger homered.
Yeah.
Bellinger's homering.
It's Mets Reds in Cincinnati this upcoming weekend. So I think both of them are going to walk out of there with 50 bombs into the final week of the season.
Does anybody pitch to them?
Oh, yeah.
You got to man up. You're not in it. You guys kind of
we could be
outside looking.
Maybe we're 3 out, but the Brewers have the schedule unbelievably easy.
But they lost, did they?
They found a way to lose.
They lost.
Maybe they'll play to their run differential at some point.
It is insane. We've been looking at, you do the Pythagorean with them, and you're like, how in the world is this team anywhere near?
There's your world champion. 06 Cardinals all over again.
That better not happen. Soccer guys are up next. They're great. It's a good show to listen to. Thanks to Jerry Cigars for sponsoring the Probables.
That's right. 2810 Sharer Road, 2910 Cary Forest Parkway, and in virtual land, jerrycigarshop.com.
We both got a wonderful gift from our friend Karen, and she got me this for helping out. I don't know what the hell she got you something for.
Because I was the coordinator.
And look at that. If you're watching on Periscope or YouTube, look at that. We're going to have to be careful, Tom.
It pays to be a gatekeeper, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me tell you something. This is a nice payment.
It really is.
Well, when it gets cold,
when
I got to save it.
Outside.
You got to save it, though. It's an Imperial Stout, and it's got some what for to it, Tom. So I'm going to tell you that we're going to want to sip on this around a fireplace at some point.
That's right. Maybe, and hear me out here, if we congregate for Army-Navy. Huh? Nice warm fire. Watching Army-Navy in the afternoon on a deck.
We could go to an Army-Navy game. We should buy our tickets now. I'll put my call in for my my golf guy, although he got fired. The dude at West Point got fired.
Did he really?
Yeah, it sucks. He wasn't there long. He got
Wouldn't that be discharged?
No,
you get discharged if you're a coach of an Army program?
He never was in the Army. He just was coaching for the Army.
And it matters. You know, are you dishonorably discharged because your team sucked, or are you retiring?
You can't win. I don't think the Army golf team can win. I mean, it's...
So how do you get fired then?
He did. He got fired. I don't know what happened.
Players were a minute late one time?
Never really got a good answer on that. He got fired.
Chronic tardiness.
All I know is I was excited to hit him up because he had offered the Army-Navy experience to me and Trey, and he had said, come anytime. And I said, Trey won't come, but I'm coming. I'm bringing my buddy Tom. I said this to him on the air. He said, come on, I got you. I was like, all right. So there was our in. And then dude got fired. I walked in one day to do the golf show, and Trey goes, oh, our boy got fired.
You think Army players are allowed to use push carts? Because I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think you got to slap that thing on your back.
Yeah. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Soccer guys up next. We'll talk to you tomorrow.